leaders. We're getting in more details. This development could actually take place post 22nd of February as the talks are still underway between both the parties. It turns out that Kamal Nath, who's currently camping in the national capital along with his son, and now Navjot Singh Sidhu, remember, who was earlier with the Bharatiya Janata Party, is in talks and perhaps could actually once again return to the Bharatiya Janata Party, and this would happen post the 22nd of February. And Navjot Singh Sidhu isn't coming all by himself. Three other Congress leaders along with Navjot Singh Sidhu could actually jump the ship and join the Bharatiya Janata Party, which is going to be yet another setback for the beleaguered Congress party in the state of Punjab. Remember, in Punjab, we have seen with the Aam Aadmi Party coming to power, Congress seems to have been completely decimated in the state of Punjab. Let me also quickly go across to my colleague Amandeep, who's joining us on this broadcast. A big news coming in, Amandeep, from the state of Punjab. Navjot Singh Sidhu could actually jump ship. There are reports coming in that he's already had multiple rounds of talks with the Bharatiya Janata Party leadership. We haven't had an official word coming in from Navjot Singh Sidhu at this point in time. But just walk us through the details that you're picking up in terms of the meetings that have taken place. And if at all, Navjot Singh Sidhu is basically unhappy with no responsibility given to him in the state of Punjab, particularly the state unit.
Well, absolutely. Absolutely, Shavan. The point is, from past few months, Navjot Singh Sidhu is towing his own line separately from the Congress party. Neither he was participating in any kind of official meeting of the state Congress, nor he was joining any protest of the Congress party. And in fact, he was holding his separate meetings in Punjab parallel to Congress party. If the Punjab Congress unit is holding somewhere dharna, Navjot Singh Sidhu is holding his own rally at a separate location, and the state unit has not been involved into that. And whenever this question has been asked to either to the Congress party or to the Navjot, there was a confrontational voices from both the sides. That was a clear-cut indication that Navjot Singh Sidhu was not at all happy with the Congress party, and neither he was agreed with the moves of the Congress party in the state of Punjab. And in fact, this is a fresh development that Navjot Singh Sidhu is having certain round of talks with the BJP so that he can take return to the BJP party. And even it's very much likely the All India Congress President Mallikarjun Kharge have visited here in Punjab in his first convention. Navjot Singh Sidhu is the one who was sitting home and tweeted that he is a loyalist to the Punjab, and in fact there was no mention of the party. Whenever the Navjot Singh Sidhu was holding his own meetings, there was no board of the Congress party, and in fact the photos of the Congress leaders remain missing from that meeting as well. So that was the indication, and this exercise was being done by Navjot Singh Sidhu for past few months, and he has raised his own issues with Rahul Gandhi, Priyanka Gandhi, as well as Mallikarjun Kharge also. And even the entire state unit is repeatedly complaining against Navjot Singh Sidhu to the high command that he's turning to be dissent again in the Congress party, and he's damaging the Congress party. So let's wait and watch what the things would be pan out, how the things would be unfolded, just because Navjot Singh Sidhu versus Congress is quite visible on the ground. And in fact, Navjot Singh Sidhu is openly criticizing the moves of the Punjab Congress publicly. And even the Congress party is demanding the expulsion of Navjot Singh Sidhu. All leaders are demanding that action should be taken against Navjot Singh Sidhu very soon. And even the state Congress has written to the High Command also regarding the activities of Navjot Singh Sidhu, the dissent activities of Navjot Singh Sidhu, that he was not cooperating with the state unit. So these are the activities, these are the indications, and this all is happening from past few months, Shavan. So let's wait and watch what the official communication will come out, just because there is a team in the Congress party of Navjot Singh Sidhu, Lal Singh and his supporters, and even several other Congress leaders with whom he was holding the meetings from past few days continuously. They might be the one who will accompany Navjot Singh Sidhu while jumping the ship from Congress to BJP. So he has his own cadre. He is not completely dependent on the Congress leaders. He has his own credibility and he has his own image. In the Punjab, he was not very much dependent on the banner of the Congress party. So let's wait and watch what is going to happen, just because Navjot Singh Sidhu once again attacking and confronting the Congress party very openly, publicly. Yes, Shivan.
Well, in fact, it's just not Navjot Singh Sidhu, it appears that the three more other leaders could also jump a ship along with Navjot Singh Sidhu. The fight that is essentially taking place right now is with the Punjab unit chief. We've seen in the past too, they've been at loggerheads. And more importantly, about an alliance with the Aam Aadmi Party appears to be one of the other reasons why they seem to be completely uncomfortable. I'll request Amandeep to stay on with us as our senior executive editor Abhishek Kapoor is also joining us on this broadcast. Abhishek, as far as Punjab is concerned, we have seen that the party unit is speaking in another voice. They were against the alliance with the Aam Aadmi Party. Navjot Singh Sidhu now wants to go back to the Bharatiya Janata Party. This only means that the Congress party is completely losing its plot in the state of Punjab.
I mean, it's almost like stating the obvious, Shawan. It's the kind of implosion that we are seeing happening within the Congress ranks. So be it Kamal Nath earlier in the evening, not denying that he's crossing over to the BJP, though I must say BJP also would need to sort of see the kind of impact it's going to have on its perception and other issues if Kamal Nath gets into the party. But then in the case of Navjot Singh Sidhu, at least, he can at least say that it's just a homecoming for him. National executive about 7 or 8 years ago in New Delhi, which he had left. Subsequently, he quit the BJP, and since then we have seen him going to jail, coming out, doing that Pakistan Act with Imran Khan, and ultimately perhaps coming to a conclusion that Congress has no future, or at least he has no future in the Congress party. And but it's not just about Navjot Singh Sidhu in deciding to go back, or Kamal Nath. Remember, Kamal Nath is someone who was called as her third son by Indira Gandhi, and that really gives you an idea. Kind of absolute directionlessness that the Congress party is facing. So Milind Deora and Ashok Chavan, at the individual level, there might be very specific reasons that these people have quit the Congress, but taken together as a summation, if you look at the whole picture and the equation, it's obviously the absolute absence of leadership in the Congress party, absolute lack of trust of the second rung of leadership of the Congress in their top leadership, by which obviously I mean that ultimately everyone is now perhaps coming to a conclusion that the Gandhi family cannot steer the ship anymore, and that's why the kind of...
We seem to have lost the line with Abhishek Kapoor. We'll try and reconnect with him. But a quick question that I would like to also take from Amandeep, who's joining us from Chandigarh. Amandeep, in terms of the movement that has essentially taken place within the Punjab Congress, we've also seen senior other leaders who have openly voiced against the decisions that have been taken within the party. Is there anything that you're picking up from Navjot Singh Sidhu's camp?
Well, absolutely, Shravan. Navjot Singh Sidhu's camp is completely backing the alliance with Aam Aadmi Party. He has clearly stated, and his camp, Lal Singh and even other leaders, they have clearly stated that without the alliance of Aam Aadmi Party, Congress will not able to establish the political grounds in Punjab, and alliance is something that can pull down the BJP from the Punjab as well. And in fact, on the other side, the entire state leadership of the Congress party, including Raja Vading, Kulbir Jira, Pratap Singh Bajwa, and certain other leaders also, they are completely confronting and having a different voice. And remember, Shravan, when there was a meeting held with the senior party high command with Rahul Gandhi, Malge, regarding the Punjab, regarding the alliance with the Aam Aadmi Party, so they had been sitting into two rows. One row, Navjot Singh Sidhu and elected MPs, they are backing the alliance. On the other, in front of them, Raja Vading, Pratap Singh Bajwa and MLAs, they all were sitting in one row and they are completely opposing the alliance. They have ensured that the Congress party will establish their own grounds and can do better without the alliance. And in case they join the hands with Aam Aadmi Party, then in future it would be trouble mounting for the political position of the Congress party. But Navjot Singh Sidhu was completely backing the Aam Aadmi alliance with the Aam Aadmi Party, saying that we can establish the contact and pull down the BJP from Punjab. So somewhere down the line, this was just one point of that confrontation. This was one point where they are having the head-on collision with each other. But there are certain other points also. was openly alleging that Congress chief Raja Bading was hand in glove with the Aam Aadmi Party in the corruption cases. How he was earning so much money when he was minister, he was not having that kind of status, but all of a sudden from where he is getting money just because he was indulged into certain kind of activities, illegal activities and corruption. Also it was the voice of Navjot Singh Sidhu that directly hits Raja Bading and his other leaders also. And in fact, these complaints has also reached to Mallikarjun Kharge as well, Rahul Gandhi, Priyanka Gandhi. Everybody was aware about this. But simultaneously, Shavan, there are a list of leaders who have written against Navjot Singh Sidhu with action from the Punjab unit of Congress party to high command. But so far, no action has been taken. Even Congress in charge, Davinder Yadav, he held a meeting with Navjot Singh Sidhu separately when the entire Congress party was waiting to meet Davinder Yadav in Chandigarh. Navjot Singh Sidhu held a separate meeting, a closed-door meeting with Davinder Yadav, and in fact, without any leader of Congress party of Punjab. So these are the indications that somewhere down the line, Navjot Singh Sidhu was not very much in the line of Punjab Congress. He turned to be dissent inside the party, and now the plans are very much likely to jump the ship from Congress to BJP. Yes, Shavan.
Well, thank you very much, Amandeep, for getting us the latest details from Chandigarh. We'll be shifting focus now to the national capital, where earlier in the day there was massive speculation on further Congress breakup. Senior leader Kamal Nath and son are now in the national capital. There's been a major speculation over the father-son duo's defection from the party. In fact, sources have now told Republic TV that there are 7 MLAs in the Kamal Nath camp, and more defections are likely to take place. Now, in the latest development, Kamal Nath, in fact, has not even denied the speculation. This was a question that was actually asked to Kamal Nath the moment he landed here in the national capital, headed straight to his residence in the national capital. Outside the residence, when our reporters actually asked him the question whether at all he's actually joining the Bharatiya Janata Party, never did he really deny that. In fact, he said that I'll inform you if something of that sort happens. Let's first listen in to what Kamal Nath had to say, and then we'll go across to my reporter outside Kamal Nath's residence and also to the BJP's national convention that's taking place. But first, let's listen in to what Kamal Nath had to say earlier in the day.
जी जी ये आप लोग कह रहे हैं जी आप लोग एक्साइट हो रहे हैं मैंने कहा मैं तो एक्साइट नहीं हूँ इस तरफ या उस तरफ पर बात ये है कि अगर ऐसी कोई बात होगी मैं आप सबको सबसे पहले खबर करूंगा जी जी ये आप लोग कह रहे हैं जी आप लोग एक्साइट हो रहे हैं मैंने कहा मैं तो एक्साइट नहीं हूँ इस तरफ या उस तरफ पर बात ये है कि अगर ऐसी कोई बात होगी मैं आप सबको सबसे पहले खबर करूंगा जी जी ये आप लोग कह रहे हैं जी आप लोग एक्साइट हो रहे हैं मैंने कहा मैं तो एक्साइट नहीं हूँ इस तरफ या उस तरफ पर बात यह है कि अगर ऐसी कोई बात होगी मैं आप सबको सबसे पहले खबर करूंगा
Well, in fact, my colleague Piyush Ori is joining us from outside Kamal Nath's residence in the national capital, and Badruba is joining us from the venue of the BJP national convention. First to you, Piyush, you did actually pose that question to Kamal Nath if at all he's joining the Bharatiya Janata Party. He hasn't really denied it. What's really happening at Kamal Nath's residence? Were there any meetings that were taking place? Did anyone come to visit? Because the kind of reaction that came in from the state of Madhya Pradesh, Jitu Patwari says that there is no question. After all, he was the third son of Indira Gandhi. What would he really do by going to the Bharatiya Janata Party? First, walk us through what's really happening. Show us what's happening outside Kamal Nath's residence here in the national capital, and then we'll go across to Madhuraba.
So you raised three very important points, Shravan, and while I speak, Neeraj Sharma, to just show the images of the residence of Kamal Nath over here in the national capital, and we must realize this, that Kamal Nath is a wise and an experienced politician who has an experience of 5 decades, and thereby when we posed him the question that is he now joining the Bharatiya Janata Party, he kept his cards close to his chest and did not comment anything. However, the speculations are rife that Kamal Nath, perhaps, who is quite unhappy with the treatment meted out to him in the recently held assembly elections in Madhya Pradesh, now wants to vent out his frustration and disappointment by joining the Saffron Party. However, as again, since he's wise and an experienced politician, he's keeping the cards close to his chest and not revealing anything. It is also important to note that over here at his residence, some of his close associates, political associates, have come over here to meet him, and then only it seems that Kamal Nath, who right now is recuperating at his residence, may take a decision. One thing is certain: he is right now keeping a close eye on the national convention, which is being held in the national capital, and there is a possibility that perhaps in the coming few days he might meet top BJP leaders, and thereby he may take a very important decision that may change the course of Congress, not only in Madhya Pradesh but also nationally. Back to the studio.
Let me also bring in my colleague Madhurima, who's tracking the BJP camp. Madhurima, we've heard from some of the BJP leaders who've actually taken to the social media platforms denying any such reports. But, what is essentially happening right now is that some within Kamal Nath's camp have already indicated that he's actually had meetings with the senior BJP leaders, and perhaps it is to settle his son Nakul Nath. What's really brewing within the BJP camp at this point in time? You're also covering the national convention that's taking place in Bharat Mandapa. First, walk us through the details you're picking up from the BJP camp.
Well, Shravan, we see here that Rajnath Singh has just passed a resolution. There was initially a resolution passed on the politics and Modi ki guarantee, where they have promised how the Narendra Modi government is going to assure them development. Coming to a second question as to whether Mr. Kamal Nath is joining the BJP or not. But yes, the reports here are also simmering that he could join the BJP. Nobody is clearly denying here. We've spoken to multiple leaders off record as well, Shravan, whether Mr. Kamal Nath is joining the BJP or not. Nobody is completely denying. There could be a possibility that in a day or two we could see some progress as far as Mr. Kamal Nath jumping ships is concerned. But yes, there could be a high possibility, because nobody from the Madhya Pradesh cadre of the Bharatiya Janata Party is rightly rejecting it. They are saying that we'll have to look into it, or there are possibilities, but there's not a clear no from the side of the Madhya Pradesh cadre, specifically of the Bharatiya Janata Party. Shaban.
Well, thank you very much, Madhurima, as well as Piyush Shori, for joining us on this broadcast. A story that we are tracking very closely with Kamal Nath, who's expected to stay back in the national capital. Whether at all there would be some meetings with senior BJP leaders, that's something that we'll keep a close watch on. Shift to focus now to a story that we've been relentlessly reporting for the last 12 days. In fact, we're now getting in a big lead in connection to the Sandesh Khali investigation. Another aide of Sheikh Shah Jahan, that is Sheikh Shibu Hajra, has been arrested. This comes after 12 days of massive women's uprising that's taking place in Sandesh Khali district. Pressure that was built over the Mamata government to take action against Sheikh Shah Jahan. But the reality is this, ladies and gentlemen, that 12 days later, you still do not have any action taken against Sheikh Shah Jahan. In fact, he's been on the run after the central agencies' crackdown continued against him. This was on the 5th of January when he went underground, and it appears that he is still on the run. Central agencies have perhaps not been able to connect with Sheikh Shah Jahan. But the reality is this. Mamata, on the floor of the assembly, said that this was a mere propaganda, said that this was a BJP RSS propaganda to malign the image of the state of West Bengal. But there have been multiple testimonies that have now come out in public, with women in Sandesh Khali speaking about the alleged sexual exploitation and the fact that it has been going on for years put together. The reality is also this, that they've taken the name of Mafia Don, Trinamool Congress convener Sheikh Shah Jahan. Along with him, you also have others who've been working very closely with Sheikh Shah Jahan, who've been named in those very testimonies given by the women of Sandesh Khali. I'm told that my colleague Kishalai is joining us on this broadcast. Kishalai, walk us through the details that you're picking up. Arrests are now finally taking place. West Bengal DGP Rajiv Kumar says that they are going to take all possible action. But why a delayed action in the first place? And second, why no word as yet as far as Sheikh Shah Jahan is concerned?
Well, exactly, Shawan. We were talking about Shibu Hajra a while back, and now we are getting the breaking news. We are breaking it first here. Shibu Hajra, another close aide of Sheikh Shah Jahan, has been arrested. This is the second person who is arrested, second close aide of Sheikh Shah Jahan who is arrested. Previously, we saw Uttam Sardar was arrested, and today only we broke how section of gang rape has been slapped against him. Now, Shibu Hajra has been arrested from Navjot police station area. This police station is very close to Sheikh Shah Jahan's house. We know that the ED officials went to Sheikh Shah Jahan's house for investigation, and then they were attacked. This is all close to the Nazat police station. The latest breaking is that Shibu Prasad Hajra has been arrested, but Sheikh Shah Jahan is still on the run. As the question you are putting rightly, Shawan, that why so late? That is the same question that the women of Sandesh Khali are also asking. But right now we were speaking to the women. They were telling us that we feel a little bit more secure that Shibu Hajra is arrested, but we will not stop our agitation, our protest till Sheikh Shah Jahan, the main mastermind of the whole atrocities, till the time he's arrested, we will not stop speaking. That is what the women of Sandesh Khali are saying. Shawan.
Well, thank you very much, Kishalai, for getting us the latest details. That's all that we have on the biggest story tonight. On the other side, news and updates continue.
QS and THE, the world's foremost university rankings organizations, have ranked Amity amongst the top 3% universities globally, making it among the very few Indian universities to be included in both rankings. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
What I want to say to everybody who is here is that let's keep the external environment aside for a moment. Let's look at what within us we can fix, and there is a lot we can. You know, I teach a class on breakthrough leadership, and in that we realize that there are so many things as women which we let become self-limiting for ourselves. You know, the imposter syndrome, for example, affects women more than men. Do you know, Rhythm, that if there is, for example, a job posting, even in your own organization, if a man feels he's even 50% ready, he will apply for it. But a woman will apply for it only if she feels she's 80 or 90% ready.
Amazing.
So we put so much pressure on ourselves, our own self-limiting beliefs. I think if we start focusing on what is in our control, and there is a lot which is in our control, I think there is no limit to what we can achieve. So we have come a long way in equality and in women representation, but I think there is a long way to go as well.
But I think it's a lovely thought.
Yes.
I also want to ask you, you're heading the very prestigious Shri Shri University. It has over 11 schools. There are also over 10,000 students in them. How do you think women, Professor Kulkarni, can be helped at the grassroots level, even keeping in mind their health and hygiene? How can we take this forward?
Yeah, women have an extremely vital role to play. We are all sitting here, mothers, aunts, sisters, friends, and the nurturing of women starts at home. Our mother is our first teacher. So the role women can play today is exceptional. You look at our entire G20 presidency. We had the vertical on W20, the Women 20. We had a vertical on G20 Empower. And our Honorable Prime Minister is now complete focus is on women-led development. There are so many new schemes. There are so many policies. And at the grassroots level, you can see that women are involved. Like our university, Rhythm, is in the state of Odisha. Yes. And they have at Sarpanch level 40% reservation for women. So I want to tell you, we were doing a leadership program for women Sarpanch leaders. And these gutsy women, smart women coming from small little villages around our university. And I remember I was traveling out of India that time, and I joined online for the program. And you know what these women asked me? कि दीदी आप जिस country में हो, उस country में आपने हमारे बारे में लोगों को क्या सिखाया? कि हम इधर कितनी अच्छी लीडरशिप करते हैं, कि हम इधर कितना अच्छा काम करते हैं अपने विलेजेस में. Such confidence and such belief in the ability to do. So I think from the grassroots level today in our country, like in Art of Living Rhythm, we are teaching, we run about 1,200 free schools in India. About 90,000 children get free education. And 48% of them are girls. And most of these are first generation learners. And these girls, nobody in there, I mean, they are first generation literates. And some of these villages are in remote parts of India. And to give education and to seek education, these girls are actually keeping aside their farming jobs and taking the decision to come to school. The family is supporting it. So you are actually educating a whole generation when you educate a woman. So it's a huge role.
Today, on a very serious, on a very career-oriented note, Professor Kulkarni, as I welcome you to Republic TV's India Women Summit, you have also got these lovely incidents that happened during the 26/11 attack in Mumbai. I would like you to share that with us, and also how grit and grace, like she was mentioning, has actually shaped you, and also how the incident that we will be talking about shaped you as a woman leader.
Let's welcome Dr. Chandrima Saha, J.C. Bose Chair, Distinguished Professor, Indian Institute of Chemical Biology. Her work on neglected tropical diseases that has paved the way for mega breakthroughs.
A very good evening to all of you, and thank you, Dr. Chandrima, for joining us today. I would like to add to that glorious introduction that you were also vice captain of West Bengal's first women's cricket team, and also the first woman cricketer, cricket commentator for All India Radio, in addition to the first woman to head the Indian National Science Academy. Now, you know, all of this fell into place when I read about your mother, Karuna. She was, I think, the first run in your family. She was one of the first women to study art in Kolkata, and she got invited by the Italian government to study art on scholarship. And of course, she was an illustrious, accomplished vocalist as well. So how I could connect it is that how much of childhood mental conditioning has gone into shaping who you are today. Could you talk about that journey?
Yes, I think childhood shaping is very important, because it was not only my mother's brave approach to life. She was actually jailed by the British for taking down the British flag from the art college. So that element of strength I got from her, and also the fact that I was allowed to do anything I choose. And my father also was a very liberal person, and he encouraged me to take science. So and then teachers in school. So my whole childhood bringing up was egged forward by all my teachers, my parents, and mostly at home, I was given the independence to do whatever I would like to do.
Right. You know, I was reading somewhere that as a young scientist, you felt very invisible among your male colleagues. Very few of them even acknowledged your presence. Of course, that did not deter you. You went on to fight the gender bias, and you went on to prove yourself. You were saying that, you know, it was very subtle discrimination. Those men did not celebrate women. Rather, they tolerated women.
Yes. Yes, that's very important, because I could not figure out at the beginning when I'm talking about the 80s, so it was a time, a long time back, that some of my colleagues would not share science with me. And I could not make it out whether they thought that women were not discussing science with, or it was the shyness of men for not talking to women. But I must say that this has changed quite a bit over, say, last 4 decades. And women are given more importance than they used to be. They were used to be given. But a lot still needs to be improved at the level of small towns, rural settings, where, in the schools or where people are studying science, and they should be given the space to be themselves.
Right, Chandrama. What can be done to encourage more and more women to take up STEM subjects? One of them, of course, you said, you want your scientists to come forward and talk about their work in local languages to young minds, young people, young girls out there. What else can be done?
I think it's all up to us to create an interest in science in young children. And so regional language is one thing by which you can actually go to the interiors of the country and give them your opinion about science and job opportunities and how you can make a livelihood, how you can have fun with science. So that's how you need to encourage people. And also they should be exposed to role models because we don't see too many role models. How many women we know who are great achievers in science other than the Nobel laureates? So role model is a great way to communicate to young women.
Right, and there's also inadequate representation of women in the scientific community. But at the same time, you do not support reservation. May I ask why?
I do not support reservation in science. The reason is we are aiming for an efficiency, certain degree of efficiency. And there are not enough women who are very competent after a certain level. So if you compromise in the quality there, then you are actually having a insufficient efficiency in the system. So I think what 33%, I don't know why it's 33%, 33% means is to have enough women representation in a committee or policy-making body so that women's causes can be taken forward. So, but since also reservation has a stigma attached to it, I think in science we should not have reservation, but to encourage more women to come into science so that the critical mass increases and we have enough good people.
Right. My next question is how science and technology can help to develop innovative solutions to the challenges that India faces.
Yes, science and technology is actually improving by leaps and bounds, I would say. And you see where we are today. Could we have imagined about 40 years back where we are today, the technology revolution, the digital world? So I think science and technology will go a long way in taking us in future, and also women who are empowered by technologies. You saw the Honorable Minister saying that technology has given a lot of power to women. So we trust that it's going to get us forward.
Right. And how do we break that societal conditioning? Of course, first it's the family's conditioning and then the societal conditioning. You even talked about, how it was different in Kolkata than it is in Delhi when you were studying. Women were still discriminated in STEM subjects, in science classes. Could you take us through that journey?
Yes, STEM subjects, they should be encouraged from home, because there is nothing boy subject and girl subject. So both genders should have exposure to the same things that they want to do, they are interested in. So it is very important for the parents. I think we need to guide parents, actually the parents, to encourage their children to have the equal share of whatever they would like to do. And that is where the most important thing, and not only parents, the society around the schools, the school teachers, they should all encourage both girls and boys to do the subjects that they like the best.
All right, Dr. Chandrika, if you could also tell us how is the research going in India and will it change the future, the face of healthcare in India?
You see, the research in India, over the past decade, it has improved very much because we have had programs of bringing back scientists from abroad. That's been for, I said, last 15 years or so, that scientists are coming back who are very well trained, and they are being employed by the different scientific institutes, and so the quality of science has really gone up. If you look at the data also, that the publications that we make are much better than before, and so I think the science has a very bright future in the country.
Right, and could you also talk about the importance of women in the field of bioscience?
Yes, as everywhere, diversity is very important. And diversity can be geographic, diversity can be of language, diversity can be of gender. And because 50% of our population are women, having women in, for example, in the sustainable development goals, having women working in all those areas, we will have an equal talent pool coming in. So that is why it is very important that women comes and joins the scientific workforce.
Right. In all this, I would say that it is very important to nourish young minds, and not put stereotypes in their minds saying that this is a boy thing or this is a girl thing. I think this is very important to do for parents, for the society in general.
Yes, if you ask, it used to be like if you ask, please draw a scientist to any child, they would draw a man, and I'm sure they still do. But, to bring about thinking about a scientist can be a woman. So that is important, and that I think will improve with time. I don't know how much time it will take, but I think that the scenario is changing.
Right. And my final question to you, what was your dare to dream moment?
I think my dare to dream moment was that I wanted my own laboratory. So when I started a laboratory with some of my students, I think that was my dare to dream moment, and we ended up doing some very good science.
Right. Thank you so much for that inspiring conversation. I hope that more and more women, young women out there will come out and join the scientific community. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
What I want to say to everybody who is here is that let's keep the external environment aside for a moment. Let's look at what within us we can fix. And there is a lot we can. I teach a class on breakthrough leadership, and in that we realize that there are so many things as women which we let become self-limiting for ourselves. The imposter syndrome, for example, affects women more than men. Do you know, Rhythm, that if there is, for example, a job posting, even in your own organization, if a man feels he's even 50% ready, he will apply for it. But a woman will apply for it only if she feels she's 80 or 90% ready.
Amazing.
So we put so much pressure on ourselves, our own self-limiting beliefs. I think if we start focusing on what is in our control, and there is a lot which is in our control, I think there is no limit to what we can achieve. So we have come a long way in equality and in women representation, but I think there is a long way to go as well.
But I think it's a lovely thought.
Yes.
I also want to ask you, you're heading the very prestigious Sri Sri University. It has over 11 schools. There are also over 10,000 students in them. How do you think women, Professor Kulkarni, can be helped to the grassroots level, even keeping in mind their health and hygiene? How can we take this forward?
Women have an extremely vital role to play. We are all sitting here, mothers, aunts, sisters, friends, and the nurturing of women starts at home. Our mother is our first teacher. So the role women can play today is is exceptional. You look at our entire G20 presidency, we had the vertical on W20, the Women 20, we had a vertical on G20 Empower, and our Honorable Prime Minister is now complete focus is on women-led development. There are so many new schemes, there are so many policies, and at the grassroots level you can see that women are involved. Like our university, Rhythm is in the state of Odisha, and they have at Sarpanch level 40% reservation for women. So I want to tell you, we were doing a leadership program for women Sarpanch leaders, and these gutsy women, smart women coming from small little villages around our university. And I remember I was traveling out of India that time, and I joined online for the program. And you know what these women asked me? कि दीदी आप जिस country में हो, उस country में आपने हमारे बारे में लोगों को क्या सिखाया? कि हम इधर कितनी अच्छी leadership करते हैं, कि हम इधर कितना अच्छा काम करते हैं अपने villages में. Such confidence and such belief in the ability to do. So I think from the grassroots level today in our country, like in Art of Living Rhythm, we are teaching, we run about 1,200 free schools in India. About 90,000 children get free education, and 48% of them are girls. And most of these are first generation learners. And these girls, nobody in there, I mean, they are first generation literates. And some of these villages are in remote parts of India. And to give education and to seek education, these girls are actually keeping aside their farming jobs and taking the decision to come to school. The family is supporting it. So you are actually educating a whole generation when you educate a woman. So it's a huge role.
Today, on a very serious, on a very career-oriented note, Professor Kulkarni, as I welcome you to Republic TV's India Women Summit, you have also got these lovely incidents that happened during the 26/11 attack in Mumbai. I would like you to share that with us, and also how grit and grace, like she was mentioning, has actually shaped you, and also how the incident that we will be talking about shaped you as a woman leader.
Yeah, Rhythm, you are starting with the incident of 26/11, and as we all know, it was a very unfortunate day in the life of India. When Mumbai was attacked by terrorists, 5 very prestigious locations. So I was with my husband Ajay in the Taj Mahal Hotel, and we went to meet a German friend. She was a
ISRO launched the INSAT-3D as meteorological satellite on board a geosynchronous launch vehicle F-14 at 5:35 p.m. today from Satish Dhawan Space Center in Sriharikota. Election Commission of India has conducted a review for both states and parliamentary elections. They say that they are fully prepared for the polls and has urged people to come out and vote in large numbers. RLD Chief Jayant Chaudhary has stated that he would elaborate on his reasons to quit the India Alliance later. He also said that he will outline future plans to serve the people once the official announcement of the Lok Sabha elections is made. BJP Yuva Morcha workers are staging a protest by showing black flags at Chief Minister Siddaramaia's in the outskirts of Mangaluru. The workers against the unjust FIR registered against BJP MLAs in the state. Kanpur Special Task Force has arrested 2 youths who were attempting to fraudulently access UP police recruitment examination by impersonation. 42 admit cards and mobile phones have been seized. A fire has broken out in the shop in a market yard near gate number 10 in Pune. Port fire tenders are on the spot while efforts are underway to control the situation.
Constantly distracted by a WhatsApp message, by a phone, by a Instagram post, by a Facebook, what happens is your mind is constantly bombarding you, because the mind does not give you any positive information. And this is not I'm quoting from myself, these are things which I'm quoting from the Vedas.
QS and THE, the world's foremost university rankings organizations, have ranked Amity amongst the top 3% universities globally, making it among the very few Indian universities to be included in both rankings. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
What I want to say to everybody who is here is that let's keep the external environment aside for a moment. Let's look at what within us we can fix. And there is a lot we can. You know, I teach a class on breakthrough leadership, and in that we realize that there are so many things as women which we let become self-limiting for ourselves. You know, the imposter syndrome, for example, affects women more than men. Do you know, Rhythm, that if there is, for example, a job posting, even in your own organization, if a man feels he's even 50% ready, he will apply for it. But a woman will apply for it only if she feels she's 80 or 90% ready.
Amazing.
So we put so much pressure on ourselves, our own self-limiting beliefs. I think if we start focusing on what is in our control, and there is a lot which is in our control, I think there is no limit to what we can achieve. So we have come a long way in equality and in women representation, but I think there is a long way to go as well.
But I think it's a lovely thought.
Yes.
I also want to ask you, you're heading the very prestigious Sri Sri University. It has over 11 schools. There are also over 10,000 students in them. How do you think women, Professor Kulkarni, can be helped at the grassroots level, even keeping in mind their health and hygiene? How can we take this forward?
You know, women have an extremely vital role to play. We are all sitting here, mothers, aunts, sisters, friends, and the nurturing of women starts at home. Our mother is our first teacher. So the role women can play today is exceptional. You look at our entire G20 presidency. We had the vertical on W20, the Women 20. We had a vertical on G20 Empower. And our Honorable Prime Minister is now complete focus is on women-led development. There are so many new schemes. There are so many policies. And at the grassroots level, you can see that women are involved. Like our university, Rhythm, is in the state of Odisha. Yes. And they have at Sarpanch level 40% reservation for women. So I want to tell you, we were doing a leadership program for women Sarpanch leaders. And these gutsy women, smart women coming from small little villages around our university. And I remember I was traveling out of India that time, and I joined online for the program. And you know what these women asked me? कि दीदी आप जिस country में हो, उस country में आपने हमारे बारे में लोगों को क्या सिखाया? कि हम इधर कितनी अच्छी leadership करते हैं, कि हम इधर कितना अच्छा काम करते हैं अपने villages में. Such confidence and such belief in the ability to do. So I think from the grassroots level today in our country, like in Art of Living, Rhythm, we are teaching, we run about 1,200 free schools in India. About 90,000 children get free education. And 48% of them are girls. And most of these are first generation learners. And these girls, they are first generation literates. And some of these villages are in remote parts of India. And to give education and to seek education, these girls are actually keeping aside their farming jobs and taking the decision to come to school. The family is supporting it. So you are actually educating a whole generation when you educate a woman. So it's a huge role.
Today, on a very serious, on a very career-oriented note, Professor Kulkarni, as I welcome you to Republic TV's India Women Summit, you have also got these lovely incidents that happened during the 26/11 attack in Mumbai. I would like you to share that with us, and also how grit and grace, like she was mentioning, has actually shaped you, and also how the incident that we will be talking about shaped you as a woman leader.
Yeah, Rhythm, you are starting with the incident of 26/11, and
Okay, we start with breaking developments coming in. Top sources have informed that 10 Samajwadi Party MLAs are in touch with the BJP leadership in the state. They are waiting an approval of central leadership of the BJP before they jump the ship. So this is a big update we're getting in right now ahead of the Lok Sabha elections in Uttar Pradesh, of course, being a very important state with regards to Lok Sabha elections. Now, 10 of Samajwadi Party MLAs are in touch with the BJP as per sources. Now, remember, there has been a lot of headache when it comes to the India alliance. Already it's breaking up. And we see that there is a seat-sharing tussle with the SP and the Congress. And now we see SP itself is struggling to keep its house in order. What we are understanding is 10 of the SP MLAs are in touch with the BJP and they are waiting for the approval of the BJP central leadership. So that is the big update right now we are getting in for you. And a big setback. This could be a big setback if it materializes. Big setback for Akhilesh Yadav. As per sources, 10 of his MLAs are in contact with the BJP leadership in state. And there's more and more setbacks coming in. More jolts for the opposition in ahead of the Lok Sabha elections. So that is the big update we have right now. Details, of course, awaited, but this is a big lead that we are getting in right now. And remember, just days ago, we saw the RLD, Jayant Chaudhary's RLD, ditching the India alliance and dumping the India alliance. And, of course, SP. All right, Executive Editor for Politics, Aishwarya Kapoor, joins us on the phone line for more. Aishwarya, what we understand that this could be a bigger setback for Akhilesh Yadav now.
Well, that's right. That's what we are being told by our sources right now. That 10 MLAs of Uttar Pradesh belonging to Samajwadi Party have already given their consent to leave the party and join the BJP. The consent is with the State Chief Minister and Senior BJP leader Yogi Adityanath. And now Baba, who is in Delhi for the BJP National Executive, will seek the top leadership's approval. That is that of Home Minister and then the BJP National President Jagat Prakash Nadda, whom he is meeting tonight post the party dinner. And in that dinner, it can very well be decided what will be the future of these 10 SP MLAs who are ready to jump the ship. All of this is happening just prior to 24 elections. If you just recount what has happened today, Kamal Nath all set to leave Congress party, Navjot Singh Sidhu with 3 MLAs after the 22nd, all set to leave the Congress party, come to the BJP. And now that 10 Samajwadi Party MLAs are ready to jump the ship from Samajwadi Party to the BJP right prior to 24 general elections. Their complete opposition ship seems to be sinking, and in a way that it is jittering the top leadership now.
Right, as you pointed out, back-to-back setbacks for the opposition right now ahead of the Lok Sabha election. But thank you so much for the moment, Aishwarya, for joining us with those details. We'll keep a track of more developments coming in. But that's the latest we have right now. Viewers, 10 Samajwadi Party MLAs are in touch with the BJP. We'll get you more details on the other side.
Would you also say that somewhere wanting to take a selfie becomes a sense of motivation? Or would you think that it is slowly not moving in the right direction mentally because you're subjecting yourself to the number of likes and the number of views you're getting?
From looking into our mirrors to say how are we looking today, into your image deciding how you feel today. And if the state of your mind is correct, then no matter what happens to you in life, your life will always remain balanced.
What I want to say to everybody who is here is that let's keep the external environment aside for a moment. Let's look at what within us we can fix. And there is a lot we can. I teach a class on breakthrough leadership, and in that we realize that there are so many things as women which we let become self-limiting for ourselves. The imposter syndrome, for example, affects women more than men. Do you know, Rhythm, that if there is, for example, a job posting, even in your own organization, if a man feels he's even 50% ready, he will apply for it. But a woman will apply for it only if she feels she's 80 or 90% ready.
Amazing.
So we put so much pressure on ourselves, our own self-limiting beliefs. I think if we start focusing on what is in our control, and there is a lot which is in our control, I think there is no limit to what we can achieve. So we have come a long way. in equality and in women representation, but I think there is a long way to go as well.
But I think it's a lovely thought.
Yes.
I also want to ask you, you're heading the very prestigious Shri Shri University. It has over 11 schools. There are also over 10,000 students in them. How do you think women, Professor Kulkarni, can be helped at the grassroots level, even keeping in mind their health and hygiene? How can we take this forward?
Yeah, women have an extremely vital role to play. We are all sitting here, mothers, aunts, sisters, friends, and the nurturing of women starts at home. Our mother is our first teacher. So the role women can play today is exceptional. You look at our entire G20 presidency. We had the vertical on W20, the Women 20. We had a vertical on G20 Empower. And our Honorable Prime Minister is now complete focus is on women-led development. There are so many new schemes, there are so many policies, and at the grassroots level you can see that women are involved. Like our university, Rhythm is in the state of Odisha, and they have at Sarpanch level 40% reservation for women. So I want to tell you, we were doing a leadership program for women Sarpanch leaders, and they gutsy women, smart women coming from small little villages around our university. And I remember I was traveling out of India that time, and I joined online for the program. And you know what these women asked me? कि दीदी आप जिस country में हो, उस country में आपने हमारे बारे में लोगों को क्या सिखाया? कि हम इधर कितनी अच्छी leadership करते हैं, कि हम इधर कितना अच्छा काम करते हैं अपने villages में. Such confidence and such belief in the ability to do. So I think from the grassroots level today in our country, like in Art of Living Rhythm, we are teaching, we run about 1,200 free schools in India. About 90,000 children get free education, and 48% of them are girls. And most of these are first generation learners. And these girls, nobody in there, I mean, they are first generation literate.
Gives me immense pleasure to introduce our panelists for this discussion. Dr. Shikha Sharma, the founder and managing director of NutriWell Health India Private Limited. And our second panelist is Ms. Ira Trivedi, the founder of YoGlove, who has tried to bridge technology with fitness. So let's get talking about selfies to self-care. Welcome all of you here. Big round of applause.
Very good evening to all of you, and thank you so much for being here today. When I was told that we'll be talking about selfies to self-care, I myself have so many thoughts on it that I was glad that we are having a full-fledged conversation. So to begin with, in today's day and age, when there is such an unprecedented explosion of the selfie culture, who do you think is in the driver's seat? Is it looking good that is driving us to take all the selfies? Or is it that because we are taking the selfies, so we are tending more towards self-care?
First of all, I just want to bring a very interesting fact to mind. Did you know that about 100 years ago, less than 100 years ago, even mirrors were not usual. Many people did not have mirrors in their home. Most people had never seen their own face. This is less than 100 years ago. Can you imagine that mirrors were it was a very rare thing. Only very, very wealthy people may have a mirror or what you call a looking glass in their homes. So, aap ye sochiye ki 100 years ago, most people never even looked at their own face. And now look what's happening today. Meaning, how many times do we look at our own face? Every single day. How many times? So it's a huge shift. It's a huge mental shift in the way that we're thinking about ourselves. And this way of thinking is affecting so many parts of our life. And I actually am very concerned about the young people growing up today, because when we grew up, we didn't have cell phones. We didn't have access to the internet. I mean, I got my first phone when I went to college, and itna bada sa, I remember it was itna bada sa Nokia phone. So we never grew up with phones, but today's children who are continuously on screens and are always looking at themselves from the time they're less than 1 year old doing FaceTime. They're all doing FaceTime with their family members, and they mostly love it because they're seeing pictures of themselves. It's a very, very new, it's an entirely new neurological connection in our brain. So it's quite a dangerous place, a dangerous territory that we're really in, that we're treading.
That is exactly what I want to touch upon, because needless to say, the selfie culture has induced beauty standards. And beauty and the beauty industry has a whole new face to it as this is kicked in. You have a self-perception, self-image, and sometimes you think that you're falling short of it. You feel inadequate. You think in that sense, we need to very consciously draw a line of what our self-care practice should be and how we can responsibly practice a selfie culture?
Yeah, I think that's a very important question today. The reason is that on one side you have people who are more conscious, and they are made more conscious because every time you post a picture, the first reaction is, how is she looking? How is he looking? When you meet somebody, and especially at least in India, the first thing either they will say you have lost weight or you have gained weight. So imagine the amount of pressure a selfie would put, because now you are sharing with thousands and thousands of people who are judging you. So first is the mental pressure which I see amongst society, and it's faced more by women than men. Because subconsciously, women have been told that looking good is important for your acceptance. And that is a tragedy, because most women as young girls, when they grow up in a wedding, the girl is said she's pretty, and the boy is said he's successful. And that's a tragedy, because a lot of women have worked hard in their professions, and yet they are measured for how they look. Now, the point number 2 is the quick fix. Now, what happens when you try to quick fix rather than having a sustained practice of loving your body, loving yourself, taking care of yourself is, so what I see is that first is women despise themselves because of their bodies, subconsciously. And that's a tragedy again. Because when you despise yourself, you open the doors for surgeries. You open the doors for all kinds of surgeries, which could be from physical correction, cosmetic correction, which you don't need. You're absolutely fine. And the second could be for liposuction, for everything possible. There are a lot of surgeries being done for virginity. So what I'm trying to say is, it just changes a woman's psyche into looking a certain way. And that's what is the problem today, that they have to fit a box.
But Ira, I would want your opinion on that, because would you also say that somewhere wanting to take a selfie becomes a sense of motivation? So you want to look good, be beautiful, project yourself a certain way, or would you think that it is slowly not moving in the right direction mentally, because at the end of it, you're subjecting yourself to the number of likes and the number of views you're getting?
Yes, it's a very slippery slope that we're on, that from looking into our mirrors to say, how are we looking today, into your image deciding how you feel today. That's something which is a very slippery slope. And as we were talking about this, I actually fast forwarded to my life like 20 years. I'm almost 40. I'm almost 40 now. And I rewinded 20 years ago when I was a participant in the Miss India pageant. You know, I was a participant in the Miss India pageant, and I was from a very good college. I had gotten a very good scholarship to study in a college abroad, and I came to do this beauty pageant on a whim. And I walked out of this pageant because I couldn't, even at that age, the thought of being judged for the way that I looked was something I couldn't handle. You know, I just couldn't, that wasn't something that sat right. And I actually ended up writing a book about that pageant, which became really a bestseller and kickstarted my career as a writer, and which then further went on to a deeper consciousness about wellness and teaching yoga, and that becoming something that I wanted to give to this world. But it's also the passage of time. You know, for me at that age, thinking that this was the way that I looked would define me into that journey, that this had nothing to do with who I was. And then as you age, you realize even more how fleeting the way that you look is, and how it really doesn't matter. But what's more important is the state of your own mind. And that's what my yoga journey led me to, that it's not the state of my face, it's not the state of my career. Ultimately, what's making me happy is the state of my mind. And if the state of your mind is correct, then no matter what happens to you in life, you know, your life will always remain balanced. Like no matter जो भी आपकी ज़िंदगी में हो रहा है, अगर आपकी स्थिरता मन की रहती है, तो आप कुछ भी कर सकते हैं. You know, and then that's slowly how things progressed. So it really is a journey, but it took me, you know, it started for me much later because we weren't exposed to so much, but I now see that things are happening at a much younger age, so that actually makes our job, you know, very important, that we have to start spreading that awareness, you know, much more so, that it's not the state of your face, it's not the state of your body, it's the state of your mind which will ultimately make you a successful human being. It's not how much money you make, it's not how much fame you get. And it's interesting because now I'm in Mumbai and I teach and I interact with some of the most famous people, you know, in Bollywood, and I understand that it doesn't matter how you look, it's ultimately the state of your mind. And wo log itni fitness, physical level pe, itna fame, itna paisa, but the mind is not still, and that can still lead to a very unhappy person, you know, which will then lead to that unhappiness can then manifest into many conscious and subconscious disease. So that's how the trajectory goes. So it's just, you know, educating now on nutrition, which is really the first pillar of health, and then moving forward becomes very important.
And for practitioners like you, you're out there, you're putting out the message on nutrition, on yoga. So much emphasis is laid on me time, connecting with yourself, taking a walk in the woods, meditating. Would you, in equal force, put out the message of taking a digital detox every now and then?
Yes. So let's talk about what the mind is. The mind is an instrument. It's an instrument by which you understand your external world. Now this instrument, how it is getting influenced, and how it is finding stillness, where you find your happiness, is B. If you are constantly distracted by a WhatsApp message, by a phone, by a Instagram post, by a Facebook, what happens is your mind is constantly bombarding you with negativity. Now, why I say negativity is because the mind does not give you any positive information, and this is not I'm quoting from myself, these are things which I'm quoting from the Vedas. Okay, so first I'll give you a little bit about why I moved into nutrition and Vedas. Is because I trained as a medical doctor. I was working in the ICU in GB Pant Hospital, and two things stunned me. The first thing which stunned me was that we were getting patients at the fag end of their disease. That means they were just coming to die in the hospital. So we as doctors were waiting that please first get so ill, then we even look at you. So the standard thing was kuch nahi hua. Blood test mein nahi aaya, kuch nahi hua. So you're waiting for people to really fall ill and then come. And I said, this is illogical. The second thing was, in GB Pant Hospital, you have a cardiology super specialization unit and you have a neuropsychiatry. Many doctors were addicts because they were taking the drugs themselves. Now it might be different, but they had become addicted. Now, why would a smart super specialist get addicted to a drug? Because to calm the mind. Because the mind is throwing constantly, you are not good, you didn't do this, you didn't do that, this is pathetic, there's a deadline. How will you calm the mind? Now, the reason why we are talking about mental health is thanks to technology. I'm not saying technology is good or bad. Technology is like a knife. You have to know how to use it. You cannot be a slave to technology. You cannot be a slave to your mind. And technology disrupts your mind. Technology, even if you're constantly on the phone, will disrupt your breathing. And if your breathing is disrupted, your complete energy engine is disrupted. So what I'm trying to say is that many people, you send them a message, within seconds they will reply. Why? Why should they reply within seconds? Why? Because they get gratification. Oh, you're so quick. So for that, so the society is telling you, quick responses mean you're good. But what is this whole quick response about? It is about the need of somebody to reach out to you at their demand. So you are on demand, you're playing on demand. So what I'm trying to say is, when you talk about convenience foods, the convenience foods has poison inside it. The number of artificial preservatives and chemicals, they're disrupting your biochemical engine. So, but how casually we say, oh, it's junk food, it's going to make you put on weight. You know, it's almost like a poison inside your bodies, and yet we only very casually say, oh, it's junk food, it will make you put on weight. No, it will kill you. It will kill your mind first, and then it will kill your body. So what I'm trying to say is, if this continues, don't be surprised. So again, I'm going to give you an example. The difference between the West and the East is, and I'm sorry if I start taking names, Michael Jackson, suicide. Marilyn Monroe, suicide. King of Pop, suicide. Elvis Presley, suicide. Why so many suicides? Because they damage their mental health completely. My fear is the same thing will come to India, and you will see people at the prime of their career committing suicide, which is their mind gone wrong. Yeah.
All right. But, you know, Ira, social media, Instagram, at one end we talk about the gap between carefully edited pictures and what the reality is. On the other end, there are leading celebrities who are putting out pictures of their bare, pigmented skin, showing their freckles off, telling the world that no, we are not picture perfect. So, in that sense, do you see a sense of ownership that women are now taking about what our bodies are? It's not about fat or thin, it's not about fair or dark, and that is helping correct the mindset.
100%. I think even Fair and Lovely changed their name, right? They changed their name into something else. Yes. See, even they changed their name, right? That cream which everyone knows about, Fair and Lovely, even they've had to do it. So I think there's a very positive movement, a very positive, body positive movement, which is also spreading. It's an underlying current, because when you see things escalated at such a level, there has to be a reverse action. You know, there has to be a reverse action. That is happening. Their counterculture is happening, where women are, you know, whether it's skin color, whether it's body positivity, whether it's self-care and self-love, all of these movements are definitely beginning. And also a wellness movement. There really is a very strong wellness movement. Even with yoga, I remember when I started, you know, there was Baba Ramdev, and then there was me, and that was it. You know, that was kind of the parallel. And I remember I guess I'm not allowed to say channel names maybe on this channel, but there was a national channel that I was doing a show on, and they used to say कि अगर आप please, you know, sleeveless मत पहनिए because ये yoga है. So I was like, okay. I said, but it's more comfortable. And people can see what I'm doing. And they just see the shape of the body that I'm making so they can follow me. I said, no. But I used to say कि बाबा रामदेव तो लंगोट में करते हैं. आप उनको थोड़ी ना कुछ बोल रहे हैं. You know, it's only sort of, this is not fair. So I feel like even then, you know, we've come very far away from then when I started to now, and there's so much more acceptance because there's more acceptance of women's bodies. There's more acceptance of women's bodies, of what they're wearing, and it first begins with ourselves, then it moves to others. And that's how it really happened. And I really remember all of this, and now I said, my gosh, would any of this really matter now? You know, so I'm definitely seeing all of it, all of this entire movement. I think it's very positive. It's a hugely positive movement, but it needs to, because there's so much happening on one side with the selfie culture. You know, there's even something now called, I forget, there was a terminology, right? When people were actually like, there was so many deaths being caused by selfies because people were always taking selfies and like there was accidents, right? There was a specific name to this sort of death because people were taking selfies. So it's very much, it's addictive to the brain, and actually there's science behind it. It's dopamine. You know, every time we're on social media, every time we're seeing Instagram posts, it's a little bit of dopamine in the brain which is released. So your brain becomes addicted to this. You know, scrolling is a neurological addiction. It's like caffeine, it's like nicotine, it's like a drug. It's like a very, very, very tiny dose of a drug that we take it over and over again becomes addictive. So you'll see it. It's become such a natural habit. We got to reach for our phones because we need that dopamine hit. We need to see what's happening on our phones. You know, it draws our attention. It's like watching an action-packed movie. You know, when you're watching an action movie, why are we so glued to the screen? We're like, wow, what's going on? It's because there's so much action that it's a dopamine hit. You know, so that's exactly what's happening now. It's becoming, it is truly a small addiction of sorts, maybe a big addiction. When we wake up in the morning first thing, what do? Most people, they're looking at their phones, they're falling asleep to their phones. I feel like even the way that human bodies, like the thumb is going to be longer, you know, as evolution happens because there's so much phone usage that, you know, human beings now, they're going to genetically evolve to have longer limbs with their phones and things like that. So,
but you know, at one end they say that you should constantly remind yourself that self-care is not always Instagrammable. I can say for a fact that you know, being a new mother, Instagram hugely helped me with information on how women deal with the blues, on how to handle a baby, on how to, you know, go after self-care. Even as a professional, you don't always have the time to come to you to practice yoga or, you know, take tips on nutrition. But your social media pages give us those little tips and tricks to, you know, that we can inculcate in our daily lives to make those lifestyle changes. So in that sense, you think that the digital age is also helping us put the right focus and strike the right conversations on self-care?
Yes. So, see, I love technology. I mean, it may not have come across like that so far, but I love technology. Now, why I love technology? Because it's a tool for efficiency. So like, for example, that till before Insta and Facebook came, it was only television which could showcase people's work. Now, the interesting thing about Instagram and social media is that anybody in any part of the world or any part of the country, irrespective of what you can afford, can get access to quality content. At the same time, they can also themselves be business people, entrepreneurs, showcasing their products. So it's a great democratization of communication. So initially, if you see, it was just the national newspapers and some local dailies. And then it was, of course, before that was radio, and then it was television. But that's it. But now there's a lot of democratization of information. So yes, it does help. I would say anything, any powerful thing, whether it's a nuclear energy or whether it is it's technology, it has to be balanced. So when I say balance, It means that yes, today somebody can stand up and say this product is not good because it has so much of XYZ components, and big companies stand up and they have to respond that there is a problem with the product. At the same time, with social media, hate speeches, targeting, trolling, mental bullying is also there. So I feel what is very important is to use this tool like a tool and to teach everybody how to use it like a tool. Whether it's, like I said, a knife or it's a vehicle which can become, a death agent itself. So the tool has to be used in a way which I think we have to train people. Now, why I'm giving you this example is, I don't know how many mothers are there, but if you try to take away a phone from a teenager, there'll be an anger reaction. You don't give the teenager food, no response. They'll be fine. I won't eat. You try taking away a phone. Now, these are classical addictive symptoms. So what I'm trying to say is that somewhere I think we have to introspect and teach ourselves how to deal with this new challenge, which is a blessing. But every blessing has a side which needs to be monitored and learned. So I think that, of course, before I finish, I want to tell you, of all the blessings for women, technology is the biggest one. Technology has given so much power to women in their hands, it's unbeatable. So I think that's one of the biggest positives I see in technology.
And as we are on the verge of wrapping this conversation, I want to ask you both, what was your dare to dream moment?
What moment?
Dare to dream moment.
Dare to dream moment. Shikhaji, why don't you start the dare to dream moment?
I think dare to dream moment. Okay, there were several of them. But the day I felt that I felt gratitude and I felt responsible for whatever I've got was the day, and it's a long story, but I was invited by the Prime Minister, Mr. Vajpayee, to advise him. That day I asked myself that it's obviously not my talent. There is a higher force which is helping me. And if that higher force is helping me, I need to be more conscientious and more committed and more introspective about whatever I'm doing. So, till a certain age, and there are a lot of youngsters I see, it's all about making your parents proud. Then it's about fulfilling your own dreams, that, okay, I want this, I want this, I want this. But a stage comes when you realize that a talent or anything you get is a gift from the universe. So, thank you. So that was my first time when I actually dared to dream big and decided I will work in this field and make sure nutrition becomes the first call or first port of call for healthcare.
And
you? So my journey is a little different because I feel that my journey is such an unplanned journey, really a gift. A spiritual journey is truly a gift. It's a blessing. And it's a tough journey. It's possibly the toughest journey. But it really comes as a blessing. So I remember my teacher had told me that for 10 years, after I'd become, he's like, you should not look at yoga as a source to earn any money. You should improve your skills and increase your depth of knowledge before you start using this as a tool to earn an income or support your life. I said, okay, ab teacher ne bola hai. In yoga, we have great respect for our teachers and our gurus. So I did this, and I remember I would have free classes in the park. In Lodi Garden, I would have free classes, or pehli class ki, to only one person came, and that person was my mom. And mom bhi walk pe chale gayi. She said ki, haan, chalo class hai, chalo, main bhi walk ke liye ja rahi thi. And I just sat there. I said, are yaar, ye kya ho raha hai? And then 10 years later, 10 years later, just blessing after blessing. Maybe all the people that I just taught for free, and थोड़े से लोग start हुए mom के बाद in Lodi Garden. It was called Yoga Sunday. We used to gather in Lodi Garden, and जिसको भी आके yoga करना था, हम लोग करते थे. Then 10 years later, I see myself, almost close to a decade later, जब International Yoga Day हुआ था, सबसे पहला राजपथ पे, and in front of me, I was teaching that class, and in front of me were so many yoga mats that I couldn't see the last student. You know, so many yoga mats. And I thought to myself on that stage, wow, you know, wow, from being in that class where there was my mom who also left, to teaching a class and that class at the Guinness Book of World Records for the largest class ever conducted in yoga. You know, so that moment made me realize that sometimes so much of our life is not in our control. Who would have imagined? I said ki whatever I would have dreamt, isse to beyond hi ho gaya. You know, I would not have dreamt of this. And I said, when you surrender, so many beautiful things begin to happen. You know, when we really surrender. So I think that art of surrendering, that art of just being able to somehow let go, doesn't mean we stop working hard. You know, I worked very hard. You know, hard to bahut mehnat ki. I hated waking up in the morning. That was number one. Subah utne ka hi man nahi karta tha, especially Delhi ki sardi. We all know how it is, you know. But subah ut ke practice karna, logon se ko sikhana. You know, I remember this was such a small but real struggle, like a real struggle of blood, sweat, and tears, literally. But, you know, it taught me the art of surrendering. And I think that art of surrendering, where we work hard, get life to flow like a river. Jahan pas flow kar rahe ho. You know, and the roadblocks come, but jaise pani na, jaise patthar hota hai, bas nikal jata hai side se. And it ultimately reaches the destination. So I started approaching life like this. And it's really helped me. You know, it's really helped me deal with the circumstances that come into your life as a woman. You know, because even for me, since the age of 18, sabse bada, you know, a huge struggle was marriage. You know, parents would also say, "Aap bas yoga karte rehte ho, isliye shaadi nahi ho rahi." I said, "Hey, like, she's doing all the yoga, doing yoga or writing books, so uski shaadi nahi ho rahi." You know, my parents, who are very educated people, are saying this. And Abhi, such a huge struggle, you know, for women in our country. Really, it's real. So finally, I actually said ki, as a rebellion, shaadi karo hi mat, you know, like. But finally, about 6 months ago, I did get married. But this was a partner of my choice, someone who I knew could support my life, you know, and not the reverse, not because society told me to do so. I think that's still a very major struggle that we all face as women. But jab surrender hua, to pati bhi mil gaya, acha wala. So ye bhi hota hai. So really, I think that's my dare to dream or dare to surrender story.
I think we are ending this conversation on a beautiful note. I want to thank you both for having this conversation in the first place, because I think Gen Z in particular is going to have a tough time in drawing that fine balance between selfies and self-care. So on that note, a huge round of applause for our guests this evening.
I was thinking over there कि एक पूरे सबके साथ selfie लेंगे यहाँ stage पे. But I guess that would be totally inappropriate now. But I'm sure you all will share the pictures. Yeah, we'll take it in one corner.
QS&THE, the world's foremost university rankings organizations, have ranked Amity amongst the top 3% universities globally, making it among the very few Indian universities to be included in both rankings. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
What I want to say to everybody who is here is that let's keep the external environment aside for a moment. Let's look at what within us we can fix. And there is a lot we can. You know, I teach a class on breakthrough leadership, and in that we realize that there are so many things as women which we let become self-limiting for ourselves. You know, the imposter syndrome, for example, affects women more than men. Do you know, Rhythm, that if there is, for example, a job posting, even in your own organization, If a man feels he's even 50% ready, he will apply for it. But a woman will apply for it only if she feels she's 80 or 90% ready.
Amazing.
So we put so much pressure on ourselves, our own self-limiting beliefs. I think if we start focusing on what is in our control, and there is a lot which is in our control, I think there is no limit to what we can achieve. So we have come a long way in equality and in women representation, but I think there is a long way to go as well.
But I think it's a lovely thought.
Yes.
I also want to ask you, you're heading the very prestigious Sri Sri University. It has over 11 schools. There are also over 10,000 students in them. How do you think women, Professor Kulkarni, can be helped at the grassroots level, even keeping in mind their health and hygiene? How can we take this forward?
Yeah, women have an extremely vital role to play. We are all sitting here, mothers, aunts, sisters, friends, and the nurturing of women starts at home. Our mother is our first teacher. So the role women can play today is exceptional. You look at our entire G20 presidency. We had the vertical on W20, the Women 20. We had a vertical on G20 Empower. And our Honorable Prime Minister is now complete focus is on women-led development. There are so many new schemes, there are so many policies, and at the grassroots level you can see that women are involved. Like our university, Rhythm is in the state of Odisha, and they have at Sarpanch level 40% reservation for women. So I want to tell you, we were doing a leadership program for women Sarpanch leaders, and these gutsy women, smart women coming from small little villages around our university. And I remember I was traveling out of India that time, and I joined online for the program. And you know what these women asked me? कि दीदी आप जिस country में हो, उस country में आपने हमारे बारे में लोगों को क्या सिखाया? कि हम इधर कितनी अच्छी leadership करते हैं, कि हम इधर कितना अच्छा काम करते हैं अपने villages में. Such confidence and such belief in the ability to do. So I think from the grassroots level today in our country, like in Art of Living Rhythm, we are teaching, we run about 1,200 free schools in India. About 90,000 children get free education, and 48% of them are girls. And most of these are first generation learners. And these girls, they are first generation literate.
Speculation over further Congress breakup as Kamal Nath and son head to the national capital. Top sources suggesting at least 7 Congress MLAs from Kamal Nath's camp likely to follow jump ship to the BJP. Sources confirmed to Republic that Navjot Singh Sidhu is also set to quit the Congress and could return to the BJP. After 12 days of unrelenting fight, Mamata Banerjee's cops forced to add rape section to the FIR. Yet another feather in the cap for ISRO. New weather satellite INSAT 3DS launched from Sriharikota. Yet another political crisis hits Pakistan. Chief Commissioner in Rawalpindi resigns, accepts rigging in the Pakistan election. Ladies and gentlemen, this political Saturday, we've had some big breaking news updates about the faces of the Congress party. Some of the senior-most leaders who've spent up to 4 decades in the Congress party. We have news of them possibly jumping ship. Started with Kamal Nath this morning, hearing that Kamal Nath and his son, who are in Delhi, they took a private jet, landed in Delhi this evening, getting in news that there is a possibility of Kamal Nath and his son joining the BJP along with their camp of loyalists, which could be about 5 to 6 MLAs from Chhindwara, which is also Kamal Nath's stronghold. There is a possibility. Kamal Nath is not denying it. He spoke to the media today. I'd like to play out what Kamal Nath said when the media questioned him. There were several times that the media tried to ask him that question. Did not deny anything on record. Said if there is anything that he will have to say, he said he will speak at the right time. No denial. And in Punjab, another big blow to the Congress party on the cards, with sources suggesting that Sidhu is set to dump the Congress party. There is a possibility that Sidhu, Navjot Singh Sidhu, the face of the Congress party in Punjab, one of the senior-most leaders of the Congress party in Punjab, could be returning to the BJP. He's been a parliamentarian of the BJP from Amritsar in the past. There's a possibility that he could be returning to the BJP. And with him, 3 more MLAs we are hearing could join the BJP. That's a possibility. Let's play out some responses. We are getting in to that story and then go on and get you some live updates.
ये आप लोग कह रहे हैं जी, आप लोग एक्साइट हो रहे हैं. मैंने कहा मैं तो एक्साइट नहीं हूँ इस तरफ या उस तरफ. पर बात ये है कि अगर ऐसी कोई बात होगी, मैं आप सबको सबसे पहले खबर करूंगा. ये आप लोग कह रहे हैं जी, आप लोग एक्साइट हो रहे हैं. मैंने कहा मैं तो एक्साइट नहीं हूँ इस तरफ या उस तरफ. पर बात ये है कि अगर ऐसी कोई बात होगी, मैं आप सबको सबसे पहले खबर करूंगा.
Okay, that's Kamal Nath doesn't deny anything on the face of it. Kamal Nath and Sidhu, are they set to dump the Congress party? Let me go across to Amandeep, who's joining us live from Chandigarh. Where is Sidhu? Amandeep, where is Sidhu? We had some news that that switch will happen in February. Is it happening soon? And why is he dumping the Congress party?
Well, Niranjan, the point is that Sidhu is maintaining distance from the state Congress leadership from past few months. He was not participating in any kind of protest or any kind of meeting as well. Last time he has seen in the Congress convention when the Mallikarjun Kharge visited the Punjab and held a meeting with the workers and the leaders as well. But after and before that, Sidhu is maintaining distance from the Congress party, and in fact he is openly alleging and having a head-on collision with the state Congress president Raja Vading by levelling the allegations of corruption against him. And even on the other side, the Congress party is also written to High Command to take strict action against him just because he is maintaining indiscipline in the party and he is campaigning against the party. So Sidhu was back-to-back holding his meetings with his own with his own camp, either in Bathinda or in somewhere else, just because he has a group of certain leaders who are supporting Navjot Singh Sidhu on this line as well. So there is a confrontation between the Congress party as well as Navjot Singh Sidhu. But yes, we cannot deny the fact that Navjot Singh Sidhu is a blue-eyed boy of Priyanka Gandhi and even having direct communications with the Rahul Gandhi. But still, in the state, the grounds are completely different. Sidhu is quite visible, maintaining the distance from the Congress party, from the state unit, and there is a head-on collision with the Congress as well as with the Navjot Singh Sidhu. Parties repeatedly seeking the action against Navjot Singh Sidhu. When Congress in charge visited Punjab for holding the meetings with Congress leaders on the issue of India alliance with the Aam Aadmi Party, Navjot Singh Sidhu held a meeting with Davinder Yadav, Punjab Congress in charge, separately, where no state leadership was present. And in fact, he had a one-to-one conversation with Davinder Yadav, and after that, Sidhu always remained missing from the Congress scene. So somewhere down the line, the dissent is quite indicated by Navjot Singh Sidhu, but let's wait and watch when he will come out and speak about this issue. Yes, Niranjan.
Let me play out what Digvijay Singh said. On the case of Kamal Nath, Digvijay Singh, he was in denial. He was pretty sure that Kamal Nath was not leaving the Congress party. There's Digvijay Singh, another senior Congress leader from the state of Madhya Pradesh, and what he said about Kamal Nath's possible switch.
ये कोई पलायन नहीं है। एक बात सुन लो, छिंदवाड़ा में है कमलनाथ जी तो जी, ये तो आप लोग जो है ना, जब तक सनसनीखेज ब्रेकिंग न्यूज़ नहीं दोगे तो कौन देखेगा, कौन छापेगा। तो इसलिए ब्रेकिंग न्यूज़ के चक्कर में मत रहो। मेरी कल रात को कमलनाथ जी से बातचीत 10:30-11 बजे हुई है। वो छिंदवाड़ा में है और जिस व्यक्ति ने अपने राजनीतिक जीवन की शुरुआत नेहरू गांधी परिवार के साथ, उनके पीछे साथ में खड़े होकर उस समय लड़ी थी जब पूरी जनता पार्टी और केंद्र की सरकार इंदिरा जी को जेल भेज रही थी। उस आदमी को आप कभी उम्मीद भी कर सकते हो कि ऐसा आदमी कभी कांग्रेस और सोनिया गांधी जी के परिवार को छोड़ के जाएगा, इंदिरा जी के परिवार को छोड़ के जाएगा? आपको उम्मीद भी नहीं करना चाहिए।
मेरी कमलनाथ जी से आज सुबह भी बात हुई, कल रात को भी हुई, और जो मैं बातें आपसे कर रहा हूं, मैं मानता हूं कि उस कांग्रेस के प्राचीन विचारधारा के इतिहास के मद्देनजर कर रहा हूं जिसको कमलनाथ जी ने आत्मसात किया था। धन्यवाद।
Prime Minister Modi will be addressing a mega rally on the 20th of February at Jammu ahead of the Prime Minister's visit. Security has been beefed up in the state, especially at the Maulana Azad Stadium, where the Prime Minister will deliver his address. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh will be visiting the Northern Command headquarters in Udhampur on the 24th of February. Defence Minister will inaugurate the new building of the Command Hospital, interact with top army commanders on the prevailing situation in the Union Territory, will mark his second visit to the Jammu region in less than 2 months. Now the setback to the Aam Aadmi Party arrested MP Sanjay Singh and former Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia. Judicial custody in the Delhi excise policy case has been extended till the 2nd of March. BJP Yuva Morcha workers staging protests by showing black flags at Chief Minister Siddaramaiah in Karnataka in the outskirts of Mangaluru. The workers against the unjust FIRs that they claim was registered against BJP MLAs in the state. Kanpur Special Task Force has arrested 2 youth who were attempting to fraudulently access UP Police recruitment examination by impersonation. 42 admit cards and mobile phones have been seized. A fire has broken out at a shop in the market yard near gate number 10 in Pune. 4 fire tenders attended while efforts were underway to control the situation. Massive fire broke out at the Tarapur block of the Maharashtra Industrial Development Corporation after a sudden explosion. RLD Chief Jayant Chowdhury has stated that he would elaborate on his reasons to quit the India Alliance later. He also said that he would outline future plans to serve the people once the official announcement of the Lok Sabha elections were made. Jharkhand Congress leader Amba Prasad has said that there is dissatisfaction among 12 MLAs in the state due to pending works, lack of responsiveness from senior Congress ministers. Allegations include failure to fulfill promises of providing opportunities to the young people in the state. On the 5th day of the farmers' agitation at the Shambhu border, farmer leader Jagdeep Singh Dalewal has said that the central government must shift focus from corporates to consumers, producers and markets for their demands to be resolved. After 12 days of unrelenting fight, the women's uprising, Mamata's police forced to add rape section to the FIR in Bengal. Yet another feather on the cap for ISRO. New weather satellite INSAT 3DS launched from Sriharikota.
very serious, on a very career-oriented note, Professor Kulkarni, as I welcome you to Republic TV's India Women Summit, you have also got these lovely incidents that happened during the 26/11 attack in Mumbai. I would like you to share that with us, and also how grit and grace, like she was mentioning, has actually shaped you, and also how the incident that we will be talking about shaped you as a woman leader.
Yeah, Rhythm, you are starting with the incident of 26/11, and as we all know, it was a very unfortunate day in the life of India when Mumbai was attacked by terrorists, 5 very prestigious locations. So I was with my husband Ajay in the Taj Mahal Hotel, and we went to meet a German friend. She is a member of European Parliament, German lady. And when you go for a dinner, like we are here in a hotel today, when you go for a dinner or a conference, you don't expect to be met with a terrorist, full-blown terrorist attack. So unfortunately, that's what happened, but I'm very grateful that with God's grace and with everybody's prayers, after 14 hours in captivity and being hostage in different locations in the hotel, we were rescued by the NSG commandos, and we were able to come out. And in a moment like this, what else but grit, or what else but faith in the fact that you might just live? What else but that can, help you? Because you are not trained to deal with that opponent, right? I mean, in life, we talk about skilling. I'm in education, we are talking about learning and skilling and upskilling and relearning. All of that is true when it's a context of familiarity for you, or it's a context you want to be a part of.
Yes.
Here you don't, this is not familiar ground at all. And I think that moment taught me that power of faith. It taught me the power of belief. I remember, Rhythm, we were at one time hiding under a table because there was nothing else to hide. And we were lying down under the table because that was about the only protection we could find in a room we were hiding. And I thought suddenly to myself, oh, I need to hand over. Let me write down, hand over notes. Imagine, you're trying to hand over life. And I started typing, and then this thought came to me that no, if I send these
Good evening and welcome. It's getting completely impossible for Mamata Banerjee to wiggle her way out of delivering answers to the women of Sandesh Khali. Sandesh Khali, where woman after woman after woman after woman over the last 12 days are coming out despite the environment of fear, despite the intimidation, and despite the fear being put into them of retaliation, ladies and gentlemen, of retribution, of horror stories of politically institutionalized and enabled and sponsored mass rape at a political party office. On the one side is their bravery, their resilience, which are a testament to the strength of their convictions, which have shaken an entire nation on their feet in this demand for justice. And on the other side, ladies and gentlemen, is the armchair coterie of Mamata Banerjee, complete psychopaths, shamelessly cheerleading Mamata Banerjee on as she turns completely anti-women by backing Mafia Don Shah Jahan Sheikh. Mamata Banerjee, this is not a matter which is going away. It is not a matter vanishing into air. It is not a silence that can be bought. It is not a matter that the plugs will be pulled from. Not until absolute justice is delivered proportionately to the crime and to the criminals. And the criminals, ladies and gentlemen, are not just the alleged rapists who use the Trinamool Congress office allegedly as a mansion of crime and rape. It's not just the mafia don Shah Jahan Sheikh's den of crime that is being endorsed by the highest levels in office. It is equally all those hypocrites and sycophants who are endorsing and justifying and doing everything in their might to taint the victims. Mamata Banerjee should realize that women are not just members of half the billion. They are not just half that will toe her line, be bought through intimidation and nod their heads elatedly at getting 1,000 rupee sop. You cannot throw a carrot at women and pray and hope that this tides over. The women of the country want justice. The women of Bengal want justice. The women of Bengal shall get absolute justice and nothing short. And we at Republic shall not stop. Mamata Banerjee, hear us loud and clear. For what can you do? You can attack the media, turn your own police on the media. That's what you do. That's what you've done. Republic will not stop till justice is delivered. Hear that loud and clear.
What I want to say to
days after former Prime Minister Imran Khan alleged electoral malpractice in the recently held general elections, now the Rawalpindi Chief Commissioner has admitted the same. He admitted to rigging the elections against PTI and added that he made 13 candidates win in Rawalpindi alone.
मैं वो इलेक्शन ठीक नहीं करवा सका और मैं अपने ओहदे से यहाँ इस्तीफा दे रहा हूँ। मैंने जो इस इलेक्शन में गलत काम किया है, रावलपिंडी के 13 एमएलए की सीटें जो हारी हुई लोगों को हमने जितवाया है, लोगों की 70-70 हजार की लीड को हमने उनकी शिकस्त में बदला है।
Meanwhile, senior Supreme Court lawyer Salman Akram Raja was arrested in Lahore while protesting against election rigging. Bureau Report, Republic TV.
Байден. Он человек более опытный, он прогнозируемый, он политик старой формации. Но мы будем работать с любым лидером США, которому окажет доверие американский. Хотел заставить европейцев поднять свои расходы на оборону. Или, как он говорил, пусть тогда платят нам за то, что мы их защищаем, что мы раскрыли над их головами атомный зонтик и так далее. Ну, я не знаю, пускай они сами разбираются, это их проблемы. Но, наверное, с его точки зрения есть в этом какая-то логика. С точки зрения европейцев логики никакой нет, а они хотели бы, чтобы Соединенные Штаты и дальше безвозмездно осуществляли вот какие-то функции, которые сложились с момента образования НАТО. Это их дела. Я-то считаю, что НАТО вообще ни к чему уже смысла никакого нет. Смысл только один – это инструмент внешней политики США. Послушайте, я когда встречался с Байденом в Швейцарии, это было, правда, несколько лет назад, 3 года там, ну, и тогда уже говорили о том, что он недееспособный. Ничего подобного я не увидел. Ну да, он подглядывал свою бумажку, я, честно говоря, подглядывал свою. Ничего такого нет. Ну, то, что он где-то, выходя из вертолета, ударился там, головой этот вертолет, ну, а кто у нас не ударялся где-нибудь головой? Пусть первый бросит в него камень.
The NCPCR has taken cognizance of an event in Sandesh Khali where miscreants were seen carelessly throwing off a toddler while ransacking a residence of a victim over there. To talk about the same, we are joined by the NCPCR chief over here. Sir, धन्यवाद हमसे बात करने के लिए. ये कौन सा इंसिडेंट है और NCPCR ने किस तरीके का कॉग्निसेंस लिया है इसका?
देखिए, हमको न्यूज़ चैनल पे, आपके ही न्यूज़ चैनल पर एक क्लिपिंग मिली जिसमें एक महिला जो विक्टिम है वो ये बता रही है कि उसके 6-7 महीने के बच्चे को जब उसके घर पे अटैक किया गया तब उसको हाथ से छीनकर फेंक दिया गया. ये अपने आप में गंभीर किस्म का अपराध है, बच्चे की जान के लिए खतरनाक है. इसलिए हमने डिस्ट्रिक्ट एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन को नोटिस किया है. 48 आवर्स में इस पर
Bihar Chief Minister Nitish Kumar has launched scathing attacks against the India Alliance weeks after quitting the bloc. He expressed dissatisfaction over the India Alliance's functioning and stated that the alliance has ended a long time ago.
अब देखिए, हम तो बड़ी कोशिश किए थे, हम तो नाम भी नहीं दिए, हम तो नाम दूसरा दे रहे थे, तो लोग अपने तरफ से नाम ले लिया. तो उस समय तब पहले लोग नाराज हो रहा था, हमको छोड़िए जो नाम दे दीजिए. अब चल रहा है कुछ ऐसे ही चल रहा, खत्म हो गया था. तो हम तो ट्राई बहुत किए थे, तो उसी समय ना आपको कह दिए, जब हम अलग हट गए थे तो उसी समय आप लोगों को हम सब प्रेस के सामने सारी बात आप लोगों को बता दिए थे. और मेरा काम है, हम लोग तो बिहार के हित में जो काम करते रहेंगे. और कितना काम हो रहा है, पूरे तौर पर एक एक चीज का काम हो रहा है और सब चीज को और आगे बढ़ाते रहते हुए हम लोग.
ब्यूरो रिपोर्ट, रिपब्लिक टीवी.
QS&THE, the world's foremost university rankings organizations, have ranked Amity amongst the top 3% universities globally, making it among the very few Indian universities to be included in both rankings. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
I am very, very happy to announce that Niva Bopa Health Insurance has come on board as Republic TV's studio partner. Niva Bopa Health Insurance is the fastest growing company among standalone health insurance players in India. It has also provided health insurance coverage to 1.1 crore people in India and settled over 15 lakh claims, processing one claim every 60 seconds. So we are delighted to be partnering with them. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. And it's time now for the nation's sharpest opinion. Tomorrow is an important day for what happens in the next chapter regarding Arvind Kejriwal and Liquorgate. Please watch very closely for what happens tomorrow, that is 17th, and what happens on 19th. These are important dates. Tomorrow, Arvind Kejriwal has been asked to be physically present in court in the Liquorgate scam. 5 times in a row, the apparent Aam Aadmi Arvind Kejriwal has skipped the ED summons. Sometimes because he's campaigning, sometimes because he's doing Vipassana, and sometimes the apparent Aam Aadmi doesn't like the ED's phrasing of the notice. All kinds of reasons have been given, but all these things don't last forever. Despite all the huffing and puffing and drama, it is a legal directive for Arvind Kejriwal to be present in
Hello, welcome you watching the weekend debate with me, Sharvin Singh. Ladies and gentlemen, as more and more leaders get ready to jump ship from the Congress to the Bharatiya Janata Party, it is a major implosion that's taking place within the party. The Congress appears to be in a complete denial. You've heard leaders like Jairam Ramesh saying that it is the BJP which is basically trying for a mini implosion to take place. When is it that the Congress party will essentially realize that the nyay should be first given to their own leaders? It is their own leaders who have been speaking about the fact how the party is dying a slow death. What is it that the Congress party fails to really understand at a time when the BJP is only gaining strength from one state to the other? That's the weekend debate at a time when many say that the country certainly deserves a strong opposition. And for the BJP, perhaps another question that many would like to ask that doesn't really matter. You've brought in leaders like Ashok Chavan as well as Ajit Pawar in the state of Maharashtra. You do not seem to be having a problem with several other leaders who face serious allegations. That's another big question for the Bharatiya Janata Party too. That's the weekend debate tonight. Massive speculation over further Congress breakup as Kamal Nath and son head to the national capital. Top sources say at least 7 Congress MLAs from Kamal Nath's camp likely to follow and jump the ship. Sources confirmed to Republic TV Navjot Singh Sidhu set to quit Congress and return to BJP. After 12 days of unrelenting fight, Mamata's cops forced to act, add rape section to the FIR.
4, 3, 2, 1. L40 states are ignited.
Yet another feather in the cap for ISRO. New weather satellite INSAT 3DS launched from Sriharikota. Another political crisis staring at Pakistan. A chief commissioner in Rawalpindi resigns, accepts a rigging in elections. Ladies and gentlemen, the Congress is falling apart by the day. Top Congress leaders, Kamal Nath and his son, are in the national capital. And if sources are to be believed, the father-son duo and 7 MLAs from the camp could jump the ship. Now, that's not all. In Punjab, Navjot Singh Sidhu is also set to dump the Congress party and return to BJP as more and more leaders walk out of the grand old party. The big question is, will it be advantage BJP ahead of the big elections? And more importantly, why is it that the Congress party fails to understand that they haven't really been able to deliver even nyay to their own leaders? Take a look at this report and then we begin the weekend debate.
The Congress High Command is staring helplessly as big leaders are leaving the grand old party. And the BJP is set to make massive gains in Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh and Punjab. Sources have confirmed to Republic that Navjot Singh Sidhu along with 3 MLAs will join the BJP after the 22nd of February. Meanwhile, former Madhya Pradesh Chief Minister Kamal Nath, who arrived in New Delhi earlier today, has not ruled out joining the BJP as well. Defection by the Congress veteran will be a massive blow to the High Command.
ये आप लोग कह रहे हैं जी, आप लोग एक्साइट हो रहे हैं. मैंने कहा मैं तो एक्साइट नहीं हूँ इस तरफ या उस तरफ. पर बात ये है कि अगर ऐसी कोई बात होगी, मैं आप सबको सबसे पहले खबर करूंगा.
Many close aides of Kamal Nath, including his son Nakul, who is also in Delhi, have removed the word Congress from their social media bios. According to sources, 7 more MLAs and the mayor of Chhindwara could also defect to the BJP with Kamal Nath.
देखिए, राजनीति के अंदर 3 चीज़ें काम करती हैं: मान, अपमान और स्वाभिमान. जब इन पे कहीं चोट पड़ती है तो मनुष्य अपने जीवन के निर्णय को बदलता है.
Following the speculation, Kamal Nath's emotional appeal to a crowd earlier this week is doing the rounds on social media.
जवानी समर्पित कर दी, मेरी आखिरी सांस तक मैं छिंदवाड़ा के नए विकास के लिए प्रयास करता रहूँगा. आप सब का दिया हुआ प्यार और विश्वास मुझे बल और शक्ति देता है और वही प्यार और विश्वास मुझे मेरी आखिरी सांस तक मिलता रहे. आप सबका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद.
Cut across to Uttar Pradesh, sources say 10 Samajwadi Party MLAs are also in touch with the BJP state leadership. And the state unit is waiting for the go-ahead from the central leadership. All these major political developments happen in the backdrop of the two-day BJP national conference taking place in Bharat Mandap.
As the race to Lok Sabha elections heats up, more and more leaders are abandoning the Congress. The Bharatiya Janata Party is gaining more grounds across all states in the country. With Navjot Singh Sidhu set to join the BJP soon and Kamal Nath deserting the Congress party in the state of Madhya Pradesh, it seems as if the grandeur and the allure of the Congress party seems to be fading. Has the Congress finally accepted the harsh truth that their ship is full of holes and is about to sink? Let's debate.
Shyam Prasad Meka, between 2014 and 2021, 222 Congress leaders, workers have joined the Bharatiya Janata Party. And it seems that the biggest beneficiary of the defections happens to be the Bharatiya Janata Party, and you are the biggest losers. The fact of the matter is that rather than carrying on the Nyay Yatra, first you should understand the biggest Nyay that you can give is to your own leaders. Leaders who have actually built the party. It is not just one family, but it is the very Congress workers who deserve some sort of credit, which seems to be missing. Before you laugh it off, but I'm just putting out the numbers for you. 222 between 2014 and 2021. I have not even counted the rest.
See, Shavan, we are very clear, right? So this is a battle that is happening for the Republic of India. People who doesn't have the courage or the commitment, ideological commitment, to fight for it, भाई साहब चले जाओ, को कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ते, चले जाओ. ये डराने का धमकाने का पूरा वो पुराना वाला राजनीति है ना, वो पुराना वाला कांग्रेस डरते था.
Who are yours? Okay. You call this as a battle to save Republic?
Yeah.
Now for the battle to happen, Shyam Prasad Meka, where are your soldiers? Where are your soldiers?
The lines are being drawn very clearly. Everybody is deciding on which side of the line they are. Let them decide. This is the Congress party of Mallikarjun Kharge and Rahul Gandhi. This is not the Congress party of which has a stranglehold of feudals and capitalists earlier. This is not that Congress. I'm telling you very clearly, we are not worried about any of these things. We are worried about the country. We will fight for the country. We will fight for this republic.
You are talking about a leader. Now, I suppose, just to remind you, Shyam Prasad Meka, I'll come back to you, but just think about it while I go to the other guest also. You're talking about the former Chief Minister of Madhya Pradesh, if at all he jumps ship. Forget about him. I'll talk about another leader, Jyotiraditya Scindia. You remember what you did to him? And look at the blow that you had to witness in the Madhya Pradesh elections. In the same very area, the Gwalior region itself, you see the kind of loss that you've had. But the reality is this, that more and more as they go, you say that you will fight it out. I don't know how exactly will you fight without any soldiers. Savio Rodrigues, as far as the Bharatiya Janata Party is concerned, there is one more thing which is very disconcerting right now. as many would say, you are bringing in everyone, and one line that comes in: if you're willing to work with us, we don't have a problem, our doors are open. What really happens to the ideology that is perhaps extremely dear to the party? What really happens to the people who actually have the faith in you and say that, okay, look here, there is one party which will not tolerate corruption, but you're okay in getting in Ajit Pawar?
You know, Shravan, let me first throw light on what I personally think are the reasons why the Congress leaders, some very senior leaders who've been a long time with the Congress party, are moving out of the Congress.
I'm not...
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. So one of the reasons why Congress leaders are moving and jumping ship is because they are sick and tired of being sycophants and slaves to one political party and one political family. That is the real problem. Unfortunately, some sycophants continue to remain and assume that people are leaving them because they don't have an ideology that they have propagated. That's not the truth. There are many good people in the Congress, and many of them are disillusioned by the behavior of senior leaders in the Congress and the level of sycophancy that exists for a 50-year-old adolescent who has not proved himself besides going on yatras. But coming to your question on the BJP, I think it is imperative on any political party to give an opportunity to a political leader or a karyakarta that believes in development of India, which is rising as Bharat, an opportunity to correct the mistake that he or she has made by being with a political party in power for a long time. So today, if they are having a change of mind and gravitating to Prime Minister Narendra Modi, then I don't see anything wrong. Coming to the aspect of corruption, Shravan, I am still saying it. Every leader that has come into the BJP, if he has got corruption cases against him, the law will take its course. And if they are found guilty of the corruption, they will go to jail.
But why accept it? No, Savio, why accept them? Now, I'll just give you an example. Think about this. Think about this, Savio. Devendra Fadnavis, during the Maharashtra elections, said that the Pawar family will be Chakki PC, including Ajit Pawar. The fact of the matter is that just months before he joined hands with the Bharatiya Janata Party, a closure report was filed. The question here is that it can't be hypothetical that, look here, law will take its own course. Then you will face the same question in the state of West Bengal as far as Shuvendu Adhikari is concerned. So the question here is that, why accept people against whom there are allegations?
You've got a valid point, Shravan. But at the end of the day, neither you nor I nor anybody on this panel decides whether a person is guilty or not, other than the investigative authorities. And beyond that, it is the court that arrives at the guilty verdict on an individual. But if an individual is suffocated within a political party, adds value to the Bharatiya Janata Party, I don't see what is wrong in giving them an opportunity to correct the errors that they had when they never had an option for a political party that focuses on development. Because Congress and other political parties in the opposition have been working towards appeasement politics, while BJP is working towards development. So today, whether it's an Ajit Pawar and the allegations against him, whether it's Subhendu Adhikari and the allegations against him, if they are proved guilty, then I'm saying this again, they should go to jail. But neither you nor me or anybody on this panel is the judge to make that decision. That decision
I'm not saying any one of us can. I'm only saying, Savio, perhaps I'll take that to also Binay. I'll take this to Binay, but before I come to Binay, Sumant Siraban, now as far as the BJP is concerned, now that question will still remain with them, that have they become, as many would say, that washing machine, as the opposition parties say. But forget about what the Bharatiya Janata Party is doing for a moment. Look at what is really happening in the opposition. Doesn't the country really deserve a stronger opposition? Because right now, the fixation with only one man and to restructure his political career is ensuring that those who have actually given their heart and soul to the party, they seem to have been sidelined.
Wow.
And the fact of the matter is that Jyotiraditya Scindia does not mean anything for the Congress party. And look at what Shyam Prasad Mekha had to say. Sumant.
Shaman, I'm not very sure which party you're referring to. Are you referring to all those loyal BJP workers who have put in years of hard work for the party and are now seeing their tickets being taken away by people who crossed over from the Congress last week and 2 weeks ago? So I don't know what you're referring to. Like Ashok Chavan gets a Rajya Sabha ticket 2 days after he joins the BJP. So I think that there is going to be a lot of resentment. What is happening is effectively this is a electoral fight between two political parties. One, on the one hand, we have the Congress bracket Modi, and on the other hand, we have the Indian National Congress, which is the grand old party. So there are two Congresses which are fighting each other now. And I think when you have an invasion like this of people from the Congress into the BJP, people whom you accused of the worst, most heinous crimes, whom you called them as corrupt, and they are now sitting with you, sitting as part of your government in different states and so on. There was a statistic I saw yesterday, 134 or something BJP MPs have originally at some point been from the Congress, which is a shocking number. So the next Lok Sabha potentially could see an entire bunch of congressmen, except that they have been elected on a BJP symbol. So I remember
that's exactly what I'm asking, Sumant. Sumant, for the sake of defending the
BJP to elect your old Congress MLA.
Hence, I'm asking you this question: why should it not worry? Of course, you know, Sumant, Sumant, what you missed out. I did ask that question to the Bharatiya Janata Party if they are okay with having tainted people joining their party, because they are the ones who talk big on corruption. But once again, please think about this also. Think about this. You are saying they are opportunists. When were politicians not opportunists? The fact of the Sumant, the fact of the matter is that this is no charity business. First of all, now politicians cutting across party lines would have been opportunities. That's not what the argument here. The argument here is this.
What did the BJP say during the days
One second,
of
hold on, Sumant. Listen to me. I'm coming to the core. The crux of the matter is this. Sumant, the crux of the matter is this. When you have your own alliance partners, just look at the statements. I'm just reading out a few for you. I'm just reading out a few for you.
1 minute.
Sumant, just think about this.
What did the BJP say?
If you have to fight the BJP, if you have to fight the BJP, can you really do it in the manner you're doing? Now, I'll just give you an example. The moment RLD... No, 1 second. Sumant, the problem is not that. First, you need to fix your own house in order to fight the battle. Shyam Prasad Mekha says that we are fighting a bigger battle. Who is going to fight the bigger battle when half of your army has deserted you? Now, the fact of the matter is this. Jairam Ramesh, the moment RLD actually jumped ship, Nitish Kumar jumped ship, the response that came in, the alliance is intact. Mamata Banerjee says that you won't even get 40 seats. Now look at the alarming situation. But while the situation being as alarming as it can get, there is one man who continues a yatra for himself.
So what is your problem with the yatra? You want him to stop the yatra? What is your problem? Why are you so worried about it?
The problem
I think you should continue.
I'm only worried. You are not worried about. You are not worried about your own party. But I'm only saying, as a country, as a healthy democracy, I think so. Everyone wants a situation where you have a strong opposition party. But the problem here is the opposition party cares less. Doesn't really matter.
Shavan, opposition is the people of India to Narendra Modi. You don't understand that yet. That is the problem. Narendra Modi versus who? Narendra Modi versus people of India. You don't understand that yet.
No,
problem with Modi.
Please, Shyam Prasad Mekha, you may have your opposition. You may have your opposition with the Bharatiya Janata Party. It is all good. But for all of this to happen, for all of your wishes to come true, you will have to have people to fight the Bharatiya Janata Party. Where exactly are your people?
Why are you so worried about
are leaving you? Why is it that that's not a problem? Binay comes in and then Roman. Rohan, I'll come to you in a short while from now. I want Binay to respond to what Shyamprasad Becca is saying. Shyamprasad and Sumansi Raman have made one simple point. Sumansi Raman, Binay is saying that such a situation will come that you will only be having on Congress workers in your party. The Bharatiya Janata Party is only currently relying on the Congress workers. Bring the Congress.
Shravan, let
134
me first
MPs.
respond to what Mr. Meka just said. That why BJP is worried about Mr. Rahul Gandhi Yatra. BJP is not worried about Rahul Gandhi Yatra, but BJP is worried about that why Congress is not worried about Rahul Gandhi Yatra. See what has happened. Rahul Gandhi went to Jharkhand, the CM went to jail. And there is a crisis in the Congress party. 17 MLAs are there and 12 are unhappy. He went to Bihar, Nitish left the India Alliance. He went to West Bengal, Mamata Banerjee left the India Alliance. So Congress should be worried and they must go to Rahul Gandhi with folded hands. Arey Baba, stop the yatra. Otherwise the party will finish if you roam around the country. And the main
Bhai Sahab, Modi will come with folded hands, asking him to stop the yatra. Suniye, Modi and Shah will come with folded hands.
If you have
Rahul Gandhi
and if you care about your self-respect, then Congress is not the place for you. If you have to choose between your self-respect and Congress party, if you go with your self-respect, you will have to leave Congress. And one more very important thing, Savan, that look at what the Congress party is saying. Arey, Congress did such a thing for, Kamal Nath. Congress did such a thing for Jyotiraditta Scindia.
Acha, you have a love for Kamal Nath now.
No contribution for Congress.
Okay, go ahead and do.
They have spent all their whole life. They have invested all their whole life for Congress.
Wow.
So they don't have done anything for the Congress. And again, the last point, Savan, it is time for election. And if the leader is serious, if Rahul Gandhi is serious, he must not be touring. He is doing tourism. It is not election campaign. While look at the other side, what BJP is doing. Very recently, today there was
It's his discovery of India.
national convention. And BJP is gearing for the election. Every minute and every hour.
No, I don't.
Rahul
See,
Gandhi
it's okay. It's okay.
his Jeep Wrangler, showing his muscles and t-shirts.
Why don't-
He's moving out in his open Jeep Wrangler.
Rohan.
Arey Baba, stop this. It is not good for Congress.
No,
It
no.
is not good for Congress.
Binay, the thing is that the discovery, now it's okay. We can understand the gentleman wants to go on with the discovery of India. He's not had that opportunity. And for breaks, he would like to go outside. But Rohan, it's a serious issue. The issue being this. Today, you've had the same very gentleman saying that Nyaya has already been given because there is no hatred in the country. So what exactly were you really fighting for in the beginning? Because your supposed Nyaya Yatra was to actually counter the hatred that is prevalent in the country. Today, the same very gentleman says that there is no hatred. People are so loving. Even the BJP RSS workers are coming for my yatra and they also saying everything is hunky-dory. So what exactly is the gentleman really trying to do? Because for him, his own acolytes have left. Milind Deora has quit. Milind Deora, his own acolyte has quit. Jitin Prasada has quit. Jyotiraditya Scindia has quit. So what exactly, whom are we really defending? Only one man. Is the party not important? Only that one man is important.
Good evening, first of all. Very quickly, I'm not going to keep from my side. Coming to Mr. Kamal Nath. Mr. Kamal Nath is in politics for the last 50. His journey in politics has been, he's been known as Mrs. Indira Gandhi's third son. He was in the cabinet in Mr. Rajiv Gandhi's period. He has been in the cabinet during Manmohan Singh's time. He has been made the CM of Madhya Pradesh. He was the leader of the party who again fought the elections with the Congress party. He was the face. So for him to leave the party and that blame to go to anybody else, that's not acceptable. If they have done things for the Congress party, the name, the fame, their son Nakul Nath, the position he is in, that is also a direct result of the Congress party. For him, for Mr. Ashok Chavan, who was the CM, who was charged by the BJP, you can go back in time and you can see Prime Minister Narendra Modi has picked up and he has told the people of Maharashtra, how can you vote for a scam accused like Ashok Chavan under the Adarsh camp. And today, these are the same people who the BJP are nominating for the Rajya Sabha. So as you say, if everything is to be blamed to Mr. Rahul Gandhi's politics is not about hatred. He's talking about bringing people together. And if it means that people who have worked with his father or worked with his mother cannot work with him, there are more people, there are younger people who can come into politics, and we can see better politics coming forward. And so
now you tell me, you have okay. Now, Rohan, Mohabbat ki dukaan can continue. Mohabbat ki dukaan can continue. But you please tell me one thing. His own people. Now you see, it's not. No one is fixated with Rahul Gandhi. But the reality is also this: that Rahul Gandhi is only concerned about himself, not his own party. If at all he was concerned, remember what really happened to Sachin Pilot in the state of Rajasthan? Now, you are calling all of them opportunists only because they are talking about the political situation. They are talking about the political situation in each of these states where the Congress party may not even be getting a single seat. The question here is that rather than being worried about that, you are starting off a yatra which may not give you the political dividend. So why should that not be a problem? Nakul Nath had a problem because the Congress party had rejected the Pran Pratishtha. He had rejected the when the Congress party rejected the Pran Pratishtha invitation, several of the Congress parties had a problem.
I'll answer your question.
Several of the Congress party. The point here is that you don't understand the pulse of this country.
Let me answer you. Give me 1 minute, please.
Sujata, I'll come to you after that.
If you look back at, everything is on social media today, right? These leaders have verified social media handles. So please go back when Mr. Rahul Gandhi was starting the yatra from the east to west. Look at what Mr. Ashok Chavan had said for the yatra. Look at what Mr. Kamal Nath has said for the yatra. So when you are telling me that I'm calling them opportunists,
I have no problem. I have no problem, Rohan. I have no problem, Rohan. That's a question that still stands for the Bharatiya Janata Party. I'm still asking that question. I'm still asking the Bharatiya Janata Party that you don't have a problem with Ashok Chavan. That's a valid question. But the fact of the matter is, rather than answering a question for the BJP, why don't you do the answering for the party which is supposed to be our principal opposition party?
What do you mean?
Ashok Chavan is a problem. Ajit Pawar is a problem. And that question will remain. The BJP will have to answer. But what happens to the Congress party when they cannot even keep their flock together? Whom are you going to fight? How exactly are you going to fight?
Nothing will happen. You don't worry about it. You are very worried about Congress.
Nothing will happen. We also know. Madhya Pradesh also you have lost. Madhya Pradesh also you have lost, Chhattisgarh also you have lost, Rajasthan also you have lost. So nothing to worry. कोई भी state नहीं रहेगा तो क्या फर्क पड़ता है? खाली ख़याली पुलाव. You want what you want? Shyam Prasad Mekka. A situation will come. A situation will come when 10 Janpad will also not remain with you.
But we will do our politics, not like the way Modi does.
What politics? I'm not understanding. What politics are you talking about? When you're not even going to win? No, when you need to. If you have to take the fight, if you have to take the fight to the BJP, if you have to take the fight, how exactly are you willing to take it?
Seven, let me school you now.
Shavan, we won Telangana.
Shyam Prasad and then Sujata.
We are in power.
Since you asked about it,
we've not won any.
Politics is
So
not about winning or losing. It's not a bullfight.
Rohan, 1 minute. Rohan, I'll come back to you. I'll come back to you. Allow Shyam Prasad Mekka to respond, and then we have Sujata on it. Shyam Prasad Mekka and Sujata on it.
Seven, quickly, you asked for it. I'm trying to school you.
Go ahead.
Politics is not just about winning or losing. Politics is about standing for what is right. That is what Congress party is doing. That is what Rahul Gandhi is trying to make Congress do. Okay? It's not a bullfight. Just winning. Oh, who is winning? Oh, you didn't win the match. That's not how it happens. Like Prime Minister going to the dressing room and forcefully consoling the cricketers. They know how to win the matches, how to lose the matches.
My goodness.
That is the problem.
Below the belt. This is what Congress does. Shavan. This is what Congress does. Shavan.
Sujata can...
Yes. So, Mr. Mekha was talking about the politics. I think
Shyam Prasad, Sujata, 1 minute. Sujata, 1 minute, just 1 minute. Shyam Prasad Meka, just one simple thing. I do understand you said this is an ideological battle.
Yeah.
All said and done. Everything is good. Sounds extremely good, especially if you're in your drawing room. And as your leader says, that we are trying to spread love. Everything is absolutely fine. But what really happens for those whom you are saying that you're fighting for them, those who have not received justice, as you point out, the question is who's going to fight for them? If
we are
not even going to win a single election, if you're not even going to send a single election, you have to at least give it to the regional parties that they are putting up some fight. And if you see the number of defections that are actually happening, tell me something, why isn't there such high defection in the other regional parties?
Yeah, I appreciate.
Sujata, think about it. Shyam Prasad Meka, I'll come back to you. Why is it that the defection is mostly from the Congress party? Mostly from the Congress party, but not from the other regional parties. It does not really happen with the other. A few perhaps from the Trinamool Congress, but not so much. So Sujata wants to come.
So, Shravan, Ms. Meka was schooling you about the politics. But I think he forgot the very basic of politics is that it is about winning the hearts and the mind and the vishwas of public, which is not with Congress, and it is shown not today. 1985, if you see the Congress graph, Congress has been on a declining phase. You know, your screen has showed a number of names. You know, the entire show will go on. If I start, Mamta Banerjee, Sharad Pawar, Ghulam Nabi Awad, Kapil Sibal, Jitin Prasada, you know, Hardik Patel, you name it, you have it. These were the loyalists of Congress party. They left it. And when they were asked why did they leave Congress party, all of them said one thing: हमारा मान नहीं रखा गया, हमको टाइम नहीं दिया जाता था. And the entire politics is about relaunching a failed product, as in the words of PM Modi, Rahul Gandhi, over and over again. As for the Nyaya Yatra also, because a lot of people are saying Nyaya Yatra, etc., you know, there was this thing about in the Congress party, and I know from a very valid source that leaders of the ground were not happy to have a Nyaya Yatra when there is an election at hand. The resources of the Congress party are being used to push Nyaya Yatra and to make the PR image of the Rahul Gandhi, where those resources are supposed to be used for winning elections. The second point is, under the leadership of Prime Minister Modi, the entire the dynamics of this country has changed. The welfare politics, the Ram Mandir, the 370, the people's sentiment is with BJP, and the leader who have little ear to the ground know that if they have to survive, if they have to keep their political future intact, they have to switch sides. And you know, I'm not trying to judge your basis on the moral lecture. One second.
Okay.
They also have an example of Jyotiraditya Scindia, Jitin Prasada, Arpan Singh, you know, Himant Vishwa Sharma, where they are saying the people who have jumped ships are not dejected. They are not offered biscuit, dog biscuit. Rather, they are given a place where they are shown respect.
Okay.
The ministers, their chief ministers.
So why not? Politics is not about charity. And last but not the least, you know, here people are talking about ideological. What ideology Congress stands for today? Congress was a centrist party. Today, Congress is a leftist party. It doesn't have any ideological difference between, you know, the Congress party or the other regional parties. And that is why even regional parties don't value them.
Sujata,
I will see what
that question also applies. You know, that question also, Sujata, that question also applies for the Bharatiya Janata Party right now. Because if you are fighting election after election saying that we are going to remove corruption will be completely eradicated, then certainly having Ajit Pawar on your side is not the best of options. And I don't think so. Then corruption angle cannot be something highlighted so much, especially if you have leaders with so much of taint. More importantly, I would actually list out several of the former Congress chief ministers whom they have taken into their fold, who actually face serious allegations. Sumant Siraman, while Sujata, I'll come back to this very point. Sumant Siraman. Sujata, I'll come back to you, but think about it and then answer. Sumant Siraman. Now, think about this. All those who have actually left the Congress party and have actually joined the Bharatiya Janata Party, N. Biren Singh, Himanto, or for, Manik Sarkar, or many others. If the people of this country, they were unhappy with this decision that was taken by them, and they would say, oh, look here, they have political opportunities, unko sirf power chahiye, then they would have lost it. They would have lost the elections. But the people have voted them. Then they were made the chief ministers. So the fact of the matter is that it has not really affected those who also go and vote for them. So how do you really say that they are just political opportunists?
Shravan, all we need to do is to go back in history to the 80s and 90s and the early 2000s, when this is what the Congress party used to do. They used to split other parties. They used to, procure MLAs and MPs, and they would then make them contest. Of course, at some earlier part of time, there was no anti-defection law. But the point I'm making is, today the BJP is a mirror image of the party that it set out to oppose. It has become more Congress than the Congress itself. High command culture, two people take all decisions in the party. People who jump ship and come from other parties are rewarded, whereas the honest karyakartas who have been slogging for the party for many years are not recognized always. So you are creating, it's just that it's happening, because the party is newer and it had leaders of the stature of Atal Bihari Vajpayee in the earlier days who built consensus and who took people along with him. That this degeneration that has set in the BJP has not affected the party so much until now. Give it another 3-4 years, give it a few electoral defeats, and you will see these people will jump ship again. If they can jump ship from Congress to BJP, they can jump ship from BJP to somewhere else.
It's over.
If not to the Congress, whoever is the latest flavor of
Shyam
the
Prasad
season,
Bekar, I'll
they
come
will
back
jump
to you.
there
Shyam
also.
Prasad Bekar, I'll come back to you. Sumant has a very interesting point also. Sumant, that was an interesting point. Savio, a very worrying trend, and I'm not going to name the person here. This was a social media post that was put out by the son of a BJP leader from the state of Maharashtra. And the person concerned was a BJP worker for several decades put together. And I have been a reporter in the state of Maharashtra also. This leader day in, day out fought the Congress party, fought the NCP. Today is languishing in some corner with no post, perhaps an elementary post that has been given. The reality is this: many within the BJP are also having this problem. And that is a reality, Savio. That is a reality, that many within the BJP are also saying that after all, we are doing the hard work. We are the ones who are committed. We are committed to the ideology. How exactly are you okay with bringing in someone else who may not be completely okay with the ideology, who may not even have any idea about what the ideology is all about? But look, numbers, arithmetic works, so let's just bring them in. Does that not create bad blood even among those hard-working workers of the party? Savio.
Shaban, you've raised a very important point. And being somebody who is a part of the BJP, let me ask you a counter question. Yes, there are sometimes people we have interacted with, not only in Goa, but other parts of the country, that talk about being unhappy of the Congress leaders or leaders from other political parties joining the BJP. But none of the BJP karyakartas leave the BJP and join any other political party. They don't do that because they believe in Prime Minister Modi's strategies to work for the interest of India. Now, let's look at each of these political leaders that you have named. The problem is not with the political leader or his political ability, whether it's Ashok Chavan, whether it's Ajit Pawar, or whether it's any of the names that have been spoken about. The real problem is the allegations of corruption against them. And while the allegations of corruption continue, like I said earlier, The only authority to decide whether they are guilty or not is a court of law. Therefore, if the Bharatiya Janata Party, in its wisdom and strategic thinking, believe that they can add value to the Bharatiya Janata Party since they have not been convicted of any crime, I don't see what the problem is. As far as the BJP Karyakarta is concerned, it is our duty as the BJP leaders to work with our Karyakartas and explain to them the reasons to the strategies taken by the party. And that's happening all over. We've had similar issues in Goa as well, where 8 Congress leaders joined the BJP. Many people thought that they would come in because they were getting ministerial portfolios. Unfortunately, only one got that ministerial portfolio about a month ago. So the Karyakartas, yes, sometimes get confused, but when spoken to, because they believe in the ideology, you see the difference is, but BJP Karyakartas are driven by the ideology of a better Bharat, of India rising as Bharat. And that is why even if another political leader comes into the party, they are willing to sacrifice their intent, their ambitions to ensure that Bharatiya Janata Party goes ahead and transforms India into Bharat. That's the real difference between BJP and the Congress. The problem with the Congress is that it is not the larger interest of the country in mind, and they can see it very clearly. And that is why they are leaving the Congress.
Savio, there is a history lesson to learn.
Congress Mukh Bharat is a reality.
Thank you. You can try that.
There is also, but Savio, there is also a lesson to be learned from the Congress party. When the Congress actually tried this at the peak of the power, they had a massive downfall. So I think that's not something that many would like to learn from the Congress party.
No, I agree with you,
and
Shaman.
Perhaps not the BJP, which always says that they are a party with a difference.
But Rohan, that there would be a downfall. But the difference is the reasons why people are joining. The people are joining.
No, I'm not making any assumption of any downfall for any political party. But all that I'm saying that it does not. Since I also speak to those very political workers, especially those Karyakartas from various districts. Now, you have to admit it, Savio, there is some amount of disgruntlement also, especially when hordes of Congress workers simply come in.
Of course, Shaban, I agree.
And that's a problem. That's a problem that you will have to admit. But Rohan,
but the disgruntlement is within the BJP family and for BJP to handle, right? We are not going to wash our hands in public.
That's exactly why they say. That's exactly why they would say that the party there is a difference here, and the reality is this. The reality is that even the party workers do say at the same breath. Let me also tell you this conversation. At the same breath, they would also end up saying that it is about winning. It is about winning. Shyam Prasad Beka, you would say there is ideological war that is happening, but even the junior most Karyakarta of the Bharatiya Janata Party will also simply say that booth management karna hai, we have to ensure that the party wins. Here, your party gets demoralized. Now, you please tell me, if at all tomorrow, Mr. Kamalnath goes to the Bharatiya Janata Party along with 7 other Congress workers, including the mayor of Chhindwara, tell me, what moral booster will Madhya Pradesh Congress have?
See, Shravan, I actually appreciate the professionalism and the commitment of the booth worker of BJP, who works as a Panna Pramukh, who goes by the slogan that's Mera booth sabse majboot. I have no problem. I appreciate them. I want my Congress workers to learn from them also. That's not the point. What we are talking about it, let's not reduce the politics of the country just to winning elections and losing some elections. The country is about what kind of people we are, what kind of society, what kind of nation we want to build.
It's about putting up a fight. Shyam Prasad Meka, okay?
Do we want to be jingoistic?
It is okay.
Just politics
is not
Shyam Prasad Meka, it's about
nation?
putting up a fight. Okay,
Politics
if you
is
want to
not
say it's
social
not about winning elections, at least put up a fight. Put up a fight.
We are fighting.
We are fighting. About running and governing.
I am only saying if today a Tamil Nadu chief minister Shyam
We are
Prasad Becca,
fighting. That's what I'm
understand
doing even
this.
here.
If today Tamil Nadu Chief Minister M.K. Stalin puts up a fight with the Bharatiya Janata Party, he ensures that there is a fight. If today in the state of West Bengal, Mamata Banerjee is putting up a fight, the question is, what happens in a state like Karnataka, when you have a political strategist like D.K. Shivkumar who's being sidelined? So in almost every state where you have a possibility of winning, where you have better arithmetic, you will sideline those who work the hardest
Somebody is sidelined
for
in
your
our
party.
Who is sidelined in our party? How do you get to know?
It's a reality. It's a reality. Binay,
What reality?
you may keep denying it. You may keep denying it. After a few months, we'll have the same debate. We'll have the same debate if something similar happens in the other state where you have won. But Binay,
the base part of this debate was that Mr. Suman C. Raman
while
and
the
Mr.
Congress
Mehta,
has a problem to address,
they are worried about BJP Karyakartas.
what will you, Binay? But what will you go, Binay? 1 minute, Binay. In the state of Jharkhand, you are fighting. You are fighting Hemant Soren. You say he is a corrupt man. You say, look at this man who says I'm fighting for Adivasi but is roaming around in a BMW. There you have a corruption issue.
What is your problem?
You have
if
a
he roams
problem
in a
of
BMW?
corruption. But you don't have a problem when corruption issues corruption issues are picked up in the state of Maharashtra. Why this double standard?
That is the mindset. It is very
once again, Binay, you have to admit it. There is double standard. There is double speak when it comes to corruption issues. No, you have a problem with Hemant Soren, but you don't have a problem with a Maharashtra leader. That same sugarcane.
Don't talk about the Janganna.
Question, I'm not saying that I'm giving any clean chit to Hemant Soren. I'm simply saying that why not speak in one language? Why not speak in one language when it comes to corruption issues?
Victim card, a Adivasi card.
Why do you have this mindset?
If we roam in a BMW.
The question. No, one second. Sujata, I'm asking this question. 1 minute, Sujata, hold on. Sujata, I'm asking this question to Binay. Binay also, one second. Binay, Sujata, allow Binay to also respond, no?
No, why do you have a problem?
1 minute. The reason why I asked this question, Shyam Prasad Becca, hold on, I'll give you the chance. Hold on. I am only asking this question to Binay. Binay happens to be also the spokesperson of the Bharatiya Janata Party of the state of Jharkhand. In that same very state, Babu, Mr. Marandi, to every others, including you, Binay, you have spoken at length about corruption. But then you don't have a problem in Maharashtra.
Shravan,
and you have a problem with the Adivasi.
Just Mr. Meka, I'm not interrupting you. The problem is not with Hemant Soren riding a BMW. The problem is that the BMW is registered to a self company and registered on the address of a person. Last month ago, he is a Congress, member of parliament, and last month only 350 crore were seized from that person. The problem is that, Mr. Meka, so don't generalize it. And the best part of the debate of today was that Mr. Meka and Mr. Raman, they are concerned about BJP Karyakartas. Oh my God, I cannot look at a more generous statement like that. But the thing is, Sawan, that when you are generalizing corruption, and the best part that if you are coming to BJP, it is not a clean sheet. You can, as a political party, you can switch over to any party. If you want to come to BJP, we welcome you. But again, the cases are not dropped. The cases are not dropped, and the cases are, going in the same pace. The investigation is on. And if the person is found guilty, the party will have a stand on that. The party will take action. So, but when you try to generalize
Gentlemen,
by naming that, why can't Adivasi cannot ride a BMW, that's not good.
Absolutely.
That's not good.
I guess we have had both sides views coming in.
Why can they not drive?
Okay. I'm sorry, I'm running short of time, but I'm sure this debate will continue. Now, to the Congress and to the other opposition parties, I think so this country certainly deserves a strong opposition party, and not just a political scientist who's currently on a discovery of India And for the Bharatiya Janata Party and perhaps the ruling parties, the question is at least speak in one language when it comes to issues of corruption. Thank you very much for watching the weekend debate.
For that, they have
What I want to say to everybody who is here is that let's keep the external environment aside for a moment. Let's look at what within us we can fix. And there is a lot we can. You know, I teach a class on breakthrough leadership, and in that we realize that there are so many things as women which we let become self-limiting for ourselves. You know, the imposter syndrome, for example, affects women more than men. Do you know, Rhythm, that if there is, for example, a job posting, even in your own organization, if a man feels he's even 50% ready, he will apply for it. But a woman will apply for it only if she feels she's 80 or 90% ready.
Amazing.
So we put so much pressure on ourselves, our own self-limiting beliefs. I think if we start focusing on what is in our control, and there is a lot which is in our control, I think there is no limit to what we can achieve. So we have come a long way in equality and in women representation, but I think there is a long way to go as well.
But I think it's a lovely thought.
Yes.
I also want to ask you, you're heading the very prestigious Shri Shri University. It has over 11 schools. There are also over 10,000 students in them. How do you think women, Professor Kulkarni, can be helped at the grassroots level, even keeping in mind their health and hygiene? How can we take this forward?
You know, women have an extremely vital role to play. We are all sitting here, mothers, aunts, sisters, friends, and the nurturing of women starts at home. Our mother is our first teacher. So the role women can play today is exceptional. You look at our entire G20 presidency. We had the vertical on W20, the Women 20. We had a vertical on G20 Empower. And our Honorable Prime Minister is now complete focus is on women-led development. There are so many new schemes, there are so many policies, and at the grassroots level you can see that women are involved. Like our university, Rhythm, is in the state of Odisha, and they have at Sarpanch level 40% reservation for women. So I want to tell you, we were doing a leadership program for women Sarpanch leaders, and these gutsy women, smart women coming from small little villages around our university. And I remember I was traveling out of India that time, and I joined online for the program. And you know what these women asked me? कि दीदी आप जिस कंट्री में हो, उस कंट्री में आपने हमारे बारे में लोगों को क्या सिखाया? कि हम इधर कितनी अच्छी लीडरशिप करते हैं, कि हम इधर कितना अच्छा काम करते हैं अपने villages में. Such confidence and such belief in the ability to do. So I think from the grassroots level today in our country, like in Art of Living, Rhythm, we are teaching, we run about 1,200 free schools in India. About 90,000 children get free education, and 48% of them are girls. And most of these are first generation learners. And these girls, nobody in there, I mean, they are first generation literates. And some of these villages are in remote parts of India. And to give education and to seek education, these girls are actually keeping aside their farming jobs and taking the decision to come to school. The family is supporting it. So you are actually educating a whole generation when you educate a woman. So it's a huge role.
In this election in the United States of America,
ये आप लोग कह रहे हैं जी, आप लोग एक्साइट हो रहे हैं. मैंने कहा मैं तो एक्साइट नहीं हूँ इस तरफ या उस तरफ. पर बात ये है कि अगर ऐसी कोई बात होगी, मैं आप सबको सबसे पहले खबर करूंगा.
Good evening and welcome. It's getting completely impossible for Mamata Banerjee to wiggle her way out of delivering answers to the women of Sandesh Khali. Sandesh Khali, where woman after woman after woman after woman over the last 12 days are coming out despite the environment of fear, despite the intimidation, and despite the fear being put into them of retaliation, ladies and gentlemen, of retribution, of horror stories of politically institutionalized and enabled and sponsored mass rape at a political party office. On the one side is their bravery, their resilience, which are a testament to the strength of their convictions, which have shaken an entire nation on their feet in this demand for justice. And on the other side, ladies and gentlemen, is the armchair coterie of Mamata Banerjee, complete psychopaths, shamelessly cheerleading Mamata Banerjee on as she turns completely anti-women by backing Mafia Don Shah Jahan Sheikh. Mamata Banerjee, this is not a matter which is going away. It is not a matter vanishing into air. It is not a silence that can be bought. It is not a matter that the plugs will be pulled from. Not until absolute justice is delivered proportionately to the crime and to the criminals. And the criminals, ladies and gentlemen, are not just the alleged rapists who use the Trinamool Congress office allegedly as a mansion of crime and rape. It's not just the Mafia Don Shah Jahan Sheikh's den of crime that is being endorsed by the highest levels in office. It is equally all those hypocrites and psychopaths who are endorsing and justifying and doing everything in their might to taint the victims. Mamata Banerjee should realize that women are not just members of half the billion. They are not just half that will toe her line, be bought through intimidation and nod their heads elatedly at getting 1,000 rupee sop. You cannot throw a carrot at women and pray and hope that this tides over. The women of the country want justice. The women of Bengal want justice. The women of Bengal shall get absolute justice and nothing short. And we at Republic shall not stop. Mamata Banerjee, hear us loud and clear. For what can you do? You can attack the media, turn your police on the media. That's what you do. That's what you've done. Republic will not stop till justice is delivered. Hear that loud and clear.
Байден. Он человек более опытный, он прогнозируемый, он политик старой формации. Но мы будем работать с любым лидером США, которому окажет доверие американский. Хотел заставить европейцев поднять свои расходы на оборону. Или, как он говорил, пусть тогда платят нам за то, что мы их защищаем, что мы раскрыли над их головами атомный зонтик и так далее. Ну, я не знаю, пускай они сами разбираются. Это их проблема.
And as I was going through each one of their profiles, what stands out is that each one of you have perhaps dared to dream big. So big round of applause and a big shout out to each one of you. Let me first begin by asking you, Anu, because many would say the field that you come from, it perhaps comes across as a surprise for someone, especially given the fact that it's about the world of genes. You started very early. very unconventional because coming out of IITs, one would have expected that you would have straight gone abroad at that point in time. Your story has a very interesting twist, so I would like to begin with that.
Thank you, Shravan. So I think it is true that you know, at the point of time when I first started my company, which was back in 2000, 2001, the expectation from everybody was that if you went to IIT, you then went on to do a PhD and doing, you know, in a university. So I did go there first. So I did go to the US, I did do a master's, and then I did tell my head of the department that, you know, in 5 years I want to start a company, and which is exactly what I did, right? So I did do that. But it was also a time which was quite fascinating because it was a time that the Human Genome Project was just getting completed. And at that point of time, there was no Google. So there was InfoSeek, and we were trying to search for this information because there was one of our co-founders who actually told us about it, right? So at that point, we did that, and it was fascinating that you could now actually decode your own software. And I think for me, that was the most exciting thing, to be able to give up my cushy job, move back to India and get Awesomum started. And that was the first company that I started.
Well, Rachi, if I can ask you this question, because many here, many who would be watching us, would say that when you come today with an idea, go to a venture capitalist with an idea, it's never going to be easy if you simply go by the data that a woman entrepreneur facing the biggest hurdle in getting the pitch approved and getting the money for it. Your story, when you actually went with your idea to get the money, how difficult was it? I'll come to that for you also, because I still want to know the story. When you actually went in, asked for the money, what was the response that came in first to you?
So as I would say that, see, being a women entrepreneur is difficult, but I think being an entrepreneur at general is a risk-taking business, and it is difficult to set up and scale something. So having said that, you know, I've been a lawyer, company secretary, and I did my MBA, and I started one company. This is my second entrepreneurial venture. And in this journey, I've done over 100 or 150 pitches. At some point, I think my key learning as an entrepreneur is to stop thinking of myself as a women entrepreneur and really embrace the fact that you're an entrepreneur out there when you're making a pitch and you're out there to sell and scale your business, hopefully get partners who will help you out there. So not thinking of it as a glass ceiling in any way really helps, because you're really, really focused on your business and what it takes to scale. And secondly, building that ecosystem, right? Whether it's the right investors, you know, employees, the socio-cultural dynamics that you're able to build into data is critical. And I think that that is something I've always told, you know, how do you place people, how do you lead teams, and how do you actually get, you know, an inclusive culture with also men who have an equal right to scale and scale your startup is what will define you as an entrepreneur. As the fact that we are a women is just a bonus. It's just additional to the whole game.
Dr. Bhatkar, before I come to you, I just want your story to be out, because imagine this, not a very conventional idea that you started with, and we're talking about back in 2000, and to have the idea of the world of genes, and very interestingly, she's got something called a genome patri, if I'm not wrong. What was the first response that came in from your venture capitalist when you went in with that particular idea? Was it sort of, I don't really get what is happening?
So it was quite interesting that Genome Patri is from Map My Genome, which is about a 10-year-old. So I've gone through 2 journeys, right? But the first time, I remember in Awesomum when we started, at that point of time, we did not want to raise capital. So till 2005, we did not raise capital. The way we actually raised capital was quite interesting. There was a professor from Stanford Research Institute who had done a study on India and found our company quite fascinating. And so I used to be in touch with him, and they kept asking me, do you want to raise capital? Do you want to raise capital, right? And so when we got an opportunity to buy a company in Germany, that was the first time we actually approached them, and then IFC was our came in as an investor. But what was fascinating was that, you know, while it was all great, we were actually approached by them, it was still a very new subject, right? So we had already bought one company in 2005, and 2006 was when we got our first round of funding. But what was funny was that every time it was a large organization, you had to start again. What is DNA? What is RNA? And I think in many ways it kind of grounded me because at that point of time I was doing more a B2B business. We mainly worked with large pharmaceutical and biotech companies. So it was the first time that you were actually talking to a lot of people where you are, dumbing down the facts, right? You had to explain, what is a microarray by using analogies like a toothbrush, things like that. So for me, I think that was a great experience in trying to build the first, understanding what a consumer might really think. So it took a long time. It took about, few months. We got our first round of funding in. And then we raised another round of funding. And this time it was a private equity company, but it was also to acquire companies. So this was 2005, 6, 7 that we acquired a lot of companies, mostly outside of India. And then, of course, 2008 happened. So we all know financial crisis brought with it its own challenges. But we built one of the largest genomic services companies worldwide. We had labs in the US, in Germany, as well as in India. But for me, somewhere there was an itch to sort of say that everybody would say, you have such a interesting company. They didn't know what we did. When they say interesting, they basically mean that you do something fascinating, but we don't understand. And I felt that, this was something we were doing for very large pharmaceutical biotech companies, but the average person who's sitting next to me did not know anything about it. So then we said, can we do something which will solve this whole inequality that exists in the world today? And can we do it in a way that somebody sitting in a village can also get an access to this technology? So in 2013 was when we founded Map My Genome. And we said, can we, people can order it, get a kit in the mail, and actually take your sample and send it back to us, right? So for me, that was the second time I was starting a company also in the field of genomics. And for me, this time it was about saying, you're not, selling it to somebody who is way better than you in terms of understanding the biology and everything else. Now you're trying to explain it to your neighbor, to your family, to your friend, and you're trying to help them in their journey, whether it was a journey of health, whether it's a journey of wellness, whether it's a journey of diagnostics and others. So the second time around when we were trying to raise capital, also I think the first time was quite easy because people experience the product and it's easy to be able to raise angel financing. It is the second time when now you have revenues, which clearly this kind of a product requires a large education component, right? Because you're now trying to tell people that you need a product which will help you understand what your health risks are, much like a compass. But it was something that people are not used to, right? So earlier 2013, when you're talking about genetics, people thought about, is it more about paternity testing, right? Is it more about disorder? So no one could understand that you could actually use something like genomics for actually wellness. So the first round was easy, but after that it was not so easy because you have revenues, you're still trying to show, and there is a lot of capital that you need to actually create that awareness, right? So it is not easy, but I think it is more a matter of the kind of technology there is. And now I think 10 years later, we've been able to create substantial amount of awareness.
Well, in fact, I'll come to the part in terms of the journey that each one of you have had, and you say that the challenge also begins now. Dr. Patkar, I want to come to you with regards to the background that you come from and what you have chosen today. As the minister a short while back spoke about Lakpati Didis and etc., a lot has been spoken about this government, about going to the last mile. You are now working with the farmers. The product that you have developed over a long period of time, the difficulties that it has been, but your target audience has been completely different, targeting the women there. How difficult has it been? Because that too has been a male-dominated area, if I may say so. Trying to convince the farmers to adopt to new technology, trying to accept what women have to tell them. How difficult was that?
Well, I mean, working? Hello?
Yeah, that's right.
So there's too many phases. I mean, you have put this question and the end user, now we are talking about farmers, but the whole journey started. So when in 2011 is where our journey actually started in looking at the census. I don't come from the agriculture background, and choosing agriculture
as my PhD subject at IIT Bombay itself was a first, I think, as a kind of challenge. But what we realized, we used to read all in newspapers, the suicides, farmer suicides, and agriculture not doing very great, and India being an agricultural country, right? So in 2011, I had an option either to take topic of, like everyone who was doing there was a health diagnostics, locating some of this troponin, myoglobin, and like cardiac markers. And the something was, nobody was looking at it, was agriculture. And when we looked at the technologies, I mean, you cannot just copy paste technologies from the West and bring it to India. I mean, I have to understand the customer, I have to understand the social economic condition of the farmer. And forget about the farmer, we also have to see the agriculture community as a whole, where it is scientists, the agronomists, the people who are working in agriculture, but also the farmers and the people who are directly interacting with farmers. So that is how we thought that, okay, we need some technologies which will be very simple, which doesn't need huge infrastructure. For example, if you take an example of the product which I developed for soil testing, which is very, very crucial to maintain this harmonious balance between productivity and the environment. The kind of soil testing technologies we have are bulky, needs electricity, needs infrastructure. And when we talk about our farmers, rural, and there is hardly any electricity. There is no training. Even if you actually have a battery, you will not even have the batteries available there. So there's no point in building technologies which will have all this. So looking at this technology, we realized that we need to develop something which will have directly, which can be used by these farmers. And women farmers have a lot of entrepreneurial mindset, right? They're already doing some business. And if soil testing as a service can be provided by these women farmers to their fellow farmers, this will not only bring revenue to them, but also, so we need to build a technology that women farmers can use it, whether they will, and the way they can understand the results. We cannot complicate it. So that is how we started looking at building the technologies. That was the first step, to make technologies as simple as possible, right? You can bring in complexity inside the machine, but you cannot have the complexity as a user experience. So that is where, and the other problem now, when we go to the market now with this technology, the kind of challenges we face is to make a technology which is very simple to use. I mean, there's a lot of innovation, there's a lot of out-of-box thinking we need to do. But having developed such technology, now that technology needs to go to the market, there are people who needs to approve and validate. So a novel technology needs a novel method of validation. So that's the kind of challenge you will face. So we need agriculture scientists, agriculture communities to understand the novelty and not compare a novel tech with a 40-year-old method, but devise their own methodology to compare this technology or validate this technology with an open mind and with more innovation here. There is an innovation needed here, and once it is approved, we know that this is so simple, and we have actually taken a lot of marketing testimonials from the farmers. We have shown it to the farmers. We have given it to them to use it. So they are quite happy, and they were, I mean, one of the example, if I have to say, we went to one of the farmers in UP, when we went to a lot of women farmers in Maharashtra. They said, we have sent our soil sample to an agricultural lab some 3 years back, and paid 50 rupees, and we don't have the result now. So when they saw something, instantly within 10 minutes, they saw the results and the recommendations, they couldn't believe it. So yeah, so technology has such a potential, but also agriculture is a lot more government, I mean, I would say in India, it is more of a government thing. So I think we need government to also pitch in. Then only it will be very easier to get access to the market. So all that Mudra loan schemes, what Mrs. Irani, she spoke about it. I think government has to pitch in and give this financial support to women farmers. Then these technologies can be taken up by women farmers and can be provided as a service.
What I also find common amongst all three of you is the fact that you've harnessed technology to the best of its possibility. Rajshri, can I then ask you this question with regards to, do you believe that for women entrepreneurs today, technology is not only acting as an equalizer, but as an accelerator?
Absolutely. And see, a lot of our work really started when we started working with data in the social impact space. So I'm a lawyer, company secretary, worked as an activist across the country, ran some of the biggest campaigns in RTI. And then there was a point where I started looking at what is my really thing contributing to the development of this country? Like, how am I actually making change in villages? That's when I stepped back. Like most other people in my community, got a corporate degree, did my law, worked in a corporate for a few years, and that's when enterprise stuck for me. So my first startup was, of course, in the drone space. We scaled that up, and then we moved into data. And what we are seeing is what our company does, Impactry.ai, is really work with the last mile people who are block officers in governments or NGOs on social impact to understand data. Because Excel means a lot to me and you. What does it mean on the ground? Nothing. How can they access data to change? And we've seen some really insightful insights all across this country when we worked in social impact, right? So for example, in UP, a project that we were doing, about 96% of women in this country own mobile phones in rural India today. Over 70% of them own these smartphones. They are on the internet today. What is really needed to accelerate them? And that's where we feel that the whole tech ecosystem and the investment is going wrong. Because if you look at it as a pyramid, everyone is funding your next D2C, next e-commerce, next all the luxury startups, which is just 1% of the top. And the more that we fund that, we keep saying, oh, there's only 2% of women who are entrepreneurs. I completely challenge this number, something which Honorable Smriti Irani said. Today, there are entrepreneurs in every part of this country. We don't have a framework to measure them, and that's where we are going wrong. Women who are running kirana stores, women who are running goatry farms, poultry farms, all of them are legit entrepreneurs. The problem is we don't recognize them as enterprise. Why? Because we have a Silicon Valley definition to enterprise, right? We say that, oh, is she having more employees? Is she investable? All these metrics come from Silicon Valley. Whereas if you see the biggest enterprises in this country are family-led businesses, from your Mahindras to your Adani, all of them are family enterprises. The question is, how do we develop the right metrics and unlock that power of entrepreneurship through data that we are collecting, through data where we are building and empowering. And not necessarily everyone will be entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs, like I said earlier, is a risky business. You require certain capital to put in, like she said, to scale, to get validation. So that's where I think that there will be people who will be able to be self-employed. And there is a way that tech can increase and accelerate self-employment. And then there will be enterprises that can be further accelerated across sectors. And we need to understand it's a long-term process. Often people, when they say tech or generative AI, they're only talking about, okay, can we lessen secondary analysis? Can we improve market-based data? Actual core research, like all of us who are doing on this panel, takes time. And that's where I think the next investment has to happen for women in tech, is to going to that ground level data, understanding those needs, and building it up from there. Like, we have a product which works on ESG and sustainability with a lot of companies, and we're working across 5 countries right now. A lot of our work is reorienting companies to also see, how do you last the next 100 years? It is through data that exists in your own premises. You can look at it digitally. Today, we have that power to access that data. The question is, how do we make it more inclusive so that all stakeholders are involved in scaling that up? And that's where the power of digitization and tech that comes in, like you said, co-work has to go into defining those matrices and frameworks, making it popular through media institutions like you, who play a crucial role in actually validating, like she said, standardizing it. And that becomes our model for development. And that is what we as proud Indians will be able to see is the next, future for us to really scale when our presence is being called upon in the world.
Your data indicates about 76% of penetration, Anu, but at the same time, when it is being used by women in rural areas, one of the biggest challenges that most businesses today have is that 1 out of 5 businesses today are being led by women. There ought to be some problem. Has that problem been identified? Do we now say that, okay, we have come a long way, but we haven't really reached what we had aimed at?
No, so which was the problem and who was aiming, right? At what numbers? So ultimately, I think it depends on where we wanted to go. And I think clearly we are not at an equity state at this point of time. And even 1 out of 5, I think, is quite a generous number that we are currently talking about. I think there are many things that we need to do to change that whole, if you want to say that you want to have, equality in terms of, number of seats at the table. I think one, we need to make sure that, we create a table that people want to go to, number one, right? So it's not something that people are saying, you are not invited to the table is one. But the second is it something that women want to go to that table in the first place? So it's a choice thing. The second thing is that once they want to get there, are there too many roadblocks on the way? Are there something else that is coming on the way to them being as part of the table? And I think today there are, right? Now, whether we want to call it as a lack of, capital available to women, I think that's not even a myth. It's a real number, and it's available in data points, right? So the number is still less than 2% of all capital is going to women-led startups. And even, for instance, when it is me and my co-founder is my husband, for instance, I think there is an expectation of a different kind when you have two people who are married in terms of, what is the shareholding and things like that, right? So I hold 70% of the company in my case. But there are lots of challenges today. And I think some of it is about, who owns, in terms of ownership of companies. The second is who makes decisions. And the third is also like,